Right, here we go. Hello and welcome to this week's episode in which I'm joined by my very good friends Matt and Nat, who are avid travellers, YouTubers, and all-round great guys. They've amassed 115,000 subscribers to date on YouTube, so I'll be asking about that journey and getting some background into their travel history, some favourite places to travel, why they started a YouTube channel, what they've learned from YouTube, etc., and the tour groups that they host and sell out on a yearly basis. So guys, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
We are doing well and doing better now that we're on hanging out with you.
Yeah.
You are too kind. You're looking very tanned, I must say.
Well, you know, as you said, the tour groups that we host, we just got back from one last week, I guess. Yeah. And let's just say the Greece weather was very good to us. Yeah. So,
do you know what? I'm a little bit annoyed at that. With all due respect, I was like, oh, damn, I want to go to Greece.
You know, after getting home to just rainy weather here, I'm a little bit annoyed with it, too.
How was Greece? Like, how was that your first time visiting?
It was.
Yeah,
it was incredible. The food, oh my gosh, amazing. And the people we went with, obviously, it made it way better.
Yeah, and we obviously, when you have a group trip, things, you travel slower, obviously, sure. You can't fit as much in. But we built in some time on the front end to, film some content in Athens. And then we went on to Nafplio with the group from Athens. And so we didn't get to do any of the islands, but we did, Athens, the Peloponnese, and then down to Nafplio, which was an incredible time.
Yeah, we can't wait to go back.
I think that's a great overland trip for people in Greece. I know the islands get all the news, if you like, and rightly so. But I think if you're looking to go on the overland part, I think Athens, the Peloponnese, and Nafplio, I think that's a great trio to get started with.
Well, I'm glad to hear that because that was our first time, so we had a good experience with it. So, but we didn't have much to compare it to with Greece, or anything to compare it to. So, but it was a great time.
I went for the first time a few years ago in December. And there's no tourists around, so it's a bit strange. But yeah,
I bet so.
If you can travel easily in Greece in wintertime, I think summertime is pretty easy as well, right? With I guess everything opens up and everyone's back to the islands or back to their tourist spots, I'd imagine.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like I said, the weather was really good to us.
We were there in the shoulder season too, so not a lot had opened up. Like we wanted to go to a beach club in Nafplio, but it wasn't open.
Yeah.
So I could see like what you were saying, going in the summertime when it's like on season would be really awesome.
But also, I can't imagine Athens in the summertime with that heat.
With that, oh my
I mean, it was in the mid 80s Fahrenheit when we were there. So
and we were all dying and sweating. So I can't imagine.
We weren't prepared for it. So yeah, I can only imagine that when it gets into the hundreds Fahrenheit, it'd be brutal.
Yeah, I was in shorts in December, so that's how hot it gets, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's, I think, my biggest tip for Greece. If you can do it in shoulder season or off season, it's so much better, I think, as an experience. I think the locals, they were surprised I was there. Like, well, what are you doing here in December? I'm like, well, so I'm not surrounded by tourists. And they welcome you and like, oh, come hang out with us. We'll give you an omelette or we'll give you some Greek food or a coffee. And
I love it.
It really is like a different vibe, I think. Yeah. For Greece, I want a quick question. Nafplio. I had no idea about Nafplio. I thought, you know what, I'll add it in because it's like sort of over there. It's the old capital. And I couldn't believe what I was seeing when I was there. When I was like walking through the old town, the boardwalk at the front, and then you put a video up of the fort at the top, and you can watch sunset there or sunrise, but you can see the views. Incredible! What a place! Never heard about it.
No, that was us honestly. So when we were planning this Greece group trip, it's a year ago actually. I think when we were planning it, or roughly a year ago. I think.
Yeah.
Something like that. Anyway, we were planning this Greece group trip and we were trying to figure out what itinerary we wanted to do, less about what itinerary we wanted to do.
Of course.
And what did our community want to do? So we put a poll out, with 3 or 5 different itineraries.
Yeah. And some of them had islands on it.
Yeah,
and
there
we
was
were kind of shocked that people chose this one. And then we looked, and it's in the book, 1,000 Places to See Before You Die, Nafplio and the Peloponnese.
Yeah.
And so we were like, oh, okay. Well.
But just like you, we had little to like really no knowledge of Nafplio. I had to learn how to say it, like. Had no knowledge of it, and then you get there, and it's this ancient town, Venetian town, really. With all of the Venetian influence, but then it also has influence from the Ottoman Empire there as well, and just all the history. So
it is stunning,
beautiful beach town.
And we ended up going during Yacht Week, so it was like very upscale.
Oh yeah, there were just
so many yachts,
dozens upon dozens of multi-million-dollar yachts sitting there. So, we definitely did not fit in.
No, I'm not having that. I think you fit in all walks of life. And But for Nafplio, I had to drive in, right? So I was like, oh, am I driving into like Old Town where it's like small streets and like it really was a bit nerve wracking for me. I had this like new mini. I was like, oh, I have no idea where to go. But because there's no one about, they said, oh, I'll just park anywhere, it's fine. But I was really worried about going into those like little streets in Old Town where you can get lost a little bit if you like. And driving, I don't even fit down there. I think that's just like one-way streets. I was like, oh, I was a bit nervous about it, but worked out right.
Understandably so.
Yeah, driving in Greece is a different experience.
I was just about to say that is very brave of you.
I don't know if I told you my story. I went on the toll road, and this is classic me. I saw the signs, and one said card payment, which is normal, and one said e-payment. I was like, yeah, that's hire car, that's been paid for. So I went to the e-gate, and when I got to the e-gate, the gate didn't open. I was like, oh shit! And there's like 5 cars behind me. I'm like, I'm on a motorway. I was like, what do I do here? I'm on my own. I'm like, so I had to tell the guy behind me, look. In English, I'm sorry, but I've kind of messed up here a little bit. And he's sending the guy like back up behind me, and the guy behind him's going back up. It's like motorway. There's like people speeding towards like 70 miles an hour into this toll gate. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to cause an accident here. But luckily I got away with it. But that was like a hairy moment. I was like, I need to just stop winging it a little bit.
Just stop winging it. You can't stop winging it. That's your motto.
Yeah, it was very on brand. Very on brand.
Very on brand for you.
Appreciate it. Okay, let's go a little bit back. Actually, no, first, tell the listeners where you're normally based day to day.
Nashville, Tennessee, Music City, country music capital. And I just want to say on record that we're trying to get James to come here. And can you also believe he does not know who Alan Jackson is? I will never forget it.
I still don't know.
I still don't know. I promise you, I will find a place to put beans on your toast if you come, James.
We will.
But they've got to be proper beans, though. Like proper,
yeah, I was about to say, it wouldn't be our baked beans.
But where would you find that in Nashville? Is there a cafe that does it? Or
I would probably have to order them and pour it on the toast myself, to be honest.
But guess what? We would do it for you when you come here.
What stellar, guys. I really appreciate that. So that means I have to go. Okay. Nashville. Yeah, on my list. Like, apart from you guys, obviously. It's always been on my list. Big music fan. Is it still got that big sort of iconic music sort of vibe and venue about it? Like, is it still a place that thrives on that?
Yeah, for sure. Music.
From every level, too. Like, obviously, the top level, like AC/DC was playing last night, right? Or was supposed to with the storms. Yeah. And then you also have just like the underground scene that not a lot of people know.
Yeah, everything from when you land in the airport, there's probably going to be live music playing at all the bars, even at the airport when you land, all the way to, all the bars on Broadway, the tourist center of the town. There's going to have live music probably on every floor of the bar because they're usually like 3 to 5 story bars. Every floor is going to have a different band playing from 9 a.m. to 3 a.m. pretty much.
And I think it's 365.
Yep, 365 days a year. So it's very much, yes.
In the DNA.
A thriving music city for sure. And of course, just has boomed in the last 10 years with tourism growing just exponentially.
I think for me, I'd like to just walk around and kind of ignore the big acts and just walk around some random venues, maybe drop in for a few hours, listen to some random musicians, and play. I'm thinking more blues in my mind, but
there's some great blues. There's some great blues clubs and stuff. Most people don't get off the the little 5-block stretch of Broadway in Nashville, which everybody just kind of equates Nashville to be. But of course, like any city, we all know it's so much more beyond just the tourist center. You just have to be willing to maybe explore a little bit out of the tourist center.
Yeah, but even in Broadway, for instance, like I think there was like 34 bars. We'll say that. I don't know. There's probably more now. Right. But on each level, there could be 5 levels of a bar. Every single level is different kinds of music being played by talented musicians. Yeah. It is just something that I've never seen anywhere else before.
Yeah, we take it for granted, to be honest. We had some friends coming through on a road trip a handful of weeks ago, and it was like they were like, you want to meet up for lunch? So we were like, yeah, let's meet up. So we went to one of the food halls kind of downtown, and there was just an acoustic act playing on the stage. And for us, we were just like, okay, cool, live music. Where they're coming from, they don't have live music. And they were like, man, y'all just don't know how lucky you are to have such talented musicians playing everywhere. And it was a little bit of one of those kind of eye openers of realizing like, yeah, they're probably right. We just kind of take it for granted, to be honest.
I think you are pretty lucky because here it's the big acts, like they do come here, but Vancouver needs to be in bed by 11 p.m. because everyone can't stay out. So they're done by 11 and that's it. There's nowhere to go afterwards, so that's it.
Wow. Yeah,
Sleepy City.
Not the
Nashville.
Case here.
Very different vibe.
Very different, yeah.
Is that where you guys are originally from?
No.
No, I'll go first on this because mine is much simpler, shorter answer.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
originally from South Carolina, a smaller city in the upstate of South Carolina called Greenville. I was born and raised there and lived there until moving to Nashville 10 years ago. So that's kind of
Tell
my
me the
story.
name of that city, though, that's really close to you. Not even a city. Is it a town? There's no light.
Where I technically grew up?
Uh-huh.
Possum Kingdom, South Carolina.
Possum
Technically,
Kingdom?
Yeah.
Possum Kingdom. Yep.
Interesting name. Okay.
Yeah. It's not really. We used to have a fire department. I don't know if they have one anymore. I'm not sure how that works, but
I just love Nat's face here. It's very suspicious of this place.
A possum.
So I grew up definitely out in like more of the rural part. I was 25 minutes out of the city center, So, but Greenville was where I grew up. So, but yeah, again,
I just think it's a funny name.
Other than growing up in an interesting named place, my upbringing was pretty straightforward as far as where I was. We didn't move. I grew up on the same property, pretty much same house my whole life, and then moved to Nashville. So Natalie's is a little more complicated.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I was born in Florida, South Florida, and then my dad got a job with Lufthansa, the German airline.
Lovely, yeah.
And so we had to move over there. So I was less than a year old. So I pretty much grew up in Germany. I had to go to German schools because my parents had no affiliation with the military. So
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so I had to learn German, had to go to kindergarten there, and then grew up. Did elementary school there. I don't know if that's what they call it, but elementary school. And then in Germany, by year 5, you have to know if your child's going to be doing blue collar work or if they're going to go to gymnasium, which is college, by 5th grade. Yeah.
Crikey.
And I know, right? And so my parents were like, well, I don't think we're going to be here that long. So let's move back to the States.
Okay.
So we moved back to the States to Georgia part-time. So we lived there for school year. And then when the school year was out, we would move back to Germany
because my
dad's
still working for Lufthansa.
So we did that until I was 13, something like that. And then we lived in Georgia. Then we lived in Gainesville, Florida, which is what I consider home. Florida is the big one.
Yeah. I have quite a few listeners from Gainesville, actually.
Really?
They're not your relatives, are they?
Maybe.
Yeah. Oh, okay. It's just because Florida's in the top 3 states. I don't really know why. I know one person there, but in Florida, I'm not great with geography. I obviously know Miami, got it, Orlando as well, but Gainesville always comes up. I have no idea who's there, who's listening.
It's a big college town, so that could make sense why you would have some listeners there because it's the University of Florida is.
Yeah, go Gators.
Wow, there you go.
I'm so excited you got Gainesville people.
He did the action, yeah.
Yeah, go Gators. Oh, that's so cool.
Oh, wow, there you go. Okay, cool. And I guess for travel, maybe very different experiences for both of you growing up?
Yes, very. Mine was, I grew up in a single family income.
Yeah.
So my dad owned his own business, but my mom stayed home. We were homeschooled most of our lives, all the way up to high school. So she was the homemaker and my dad was a single family, single income. So we didn't have a whole lot of income to be able to go do big trips and that kind of stuff. So, and then on top of that, having the time as, business owner is always a challenge. So we would do one trip a year, usually for a week. And it was either to the coast of the Carolinas, or we would go, we were a big lake family. So I always grew up wakeboarding and water skiing and all that. So we would sometimes go rent a small house on one of the local lakes there. And those were our vacations. We went to Disney one time growing up when I was 11. But other than that, that was our vacations. It was just going to the Carolina coast or the Carolina lakes. And we didn't know any different. We had a great time and still cherish those times.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. You're very similar to me in that respect. I think we,
really?
Single income family. And you might go to the coast. For us, it's about a 30-minute drive to the coast. I don't know how far it is from you. But
it was a few hours for us, but still the same idea.
Relative, right? And that's all we got, really.
We definitely weren't flying anywhere.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, no passport till I was an adult.
Nope.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that yours must have been very different.
Yeah, having a dad as an airline pilot. What's funny, though, is I thought, because we would fly standby everywhere, right? Because when you have passes and you work for an airline, you fly standby. So I thought it was normal to go to the airport and you just sit around and wait and hope you get on a plane for 5 to 6 hours. That was my childhood, was you just hope you get on. And so then when I was an adult one day and I bought a ticket and I'm like, I have a seat? What do you mean? And so it was a very interesting, because, when you're kids and you're my parents would give us books and all of this stuff to entertain us because we could be at the airport all day long waiting for a flight. But yeah, I mean, also growing up in Europe, it's so different. Like the culture is so different in a smaller area. Like in the US, like we could fly to Alabama or Florida, and it's not that different. It is different, but it's not that different.
Yeah.
Whereas, growing up in Europe, I think that was something for me that really made me love travel so much, is the different cultures and different experiences. Like I remember going to Spain one time, and I was the only English speaking kid there. Everybody else spoke all different kinds of languages. And my mom had to sit me down, and they were like, you can figure it out as a kid, like do hand motions. And that's when I realized like all of us are just trying to figure it out. And so that was something that I thought was so beautiful. And I think just was like, I love this travel thing. I love learning about different cultures. And so, yeah, that's always been a part of it.
Many times when we, for our YouTube channel, we go to places and document it, and we'll say, or I'll say, this is our first time here. And then later her mom will correct me and say, well, actually she was there. She just doesn't remember it because she was in a stroller. So yeah, she's been lots of places, many of them were like, she was a kid. So
yeah, I might have one picture as like a 7-year-old, but like that doesn't count.
Yeah, Natalie's got like 20 passport stamps by the time she's 7 or 8. And she doesn't know it. Amazing. I think for Europe, we are blessed in that sense, because when we grew up, to give you an idea, we had to do French or German as a language, which sounds really bad, but honestly, English people do not learn other languages. And we're like, it's a piss around for a couple of years, we'll do it. But the upside is you get a history trip or a language trip accompanying that, if you do history as well, right? So that was the first foray into Europe. And unfortunately, at that age, you kind of see it as a school trip away. You're probably more interested in chasing girls or having a laugh rather than actually learning about these World War I and II monuments, etc., right? And also seeing this whole new country. So it's a bit of a shame, really. But I think when you get older, you sort of realise, I should pay attention a little bit more. That would have been nice, wouldn't it? But hey. I'm glad
we're not alone on that, because even to the language point, we had to take a foreign language in high school, but by high school, we should have been learning it way, way, way before high school.
Yeah.
And I think it's changed probably some. It depends on where you grew up in the U.S. But where I grew up, you had to take 2 years of it in high school, and it was just a class I had to take. I didn't care to actually learn the language, and now I kick myself.
Yeah,
for
we were
not
just in Belgium, and he was like, why didn't I learn and pay attention more in French class?
Yeah.
And I took the easy route, and I just took German because I already knew how it worked. And instead of learning a new language, so I kicked myself too.
What's the saying? Hear people say youth is wasted on the young, and sometimes wisdom is wasted on the old,
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Yeah. Bloody hell. Weirdly, though, I do remember some German phrases from school, so it must be drummed into you every week, even though you're not sort of paying attention. It must be there somewhere, because when I go to Germany, we went to Austria in 2023, I was like, I can speak a little bit to get some stuff going. So it is there somewhere.
Isn't it funny how that does stick around? Because even like with French, I do not claim to be able to speak French, but I can typically look at signs or words and get them pretty close to how they should be pronounced. Because I took a year or two in college as well. Again, didn't really care about it, just had to take it. Whereas like Natalie, with her German background, she'll look at a French sign and be like, I have no idea.
I'll do word association with the closest English word I can think of. And Matt's like, that is not correct.
So I do my best to get her by when we're in French-speaking countries, and she does a much better job at getting us by in German-speaking countries.
So Natalie's great for Germany and Austria, but Matt could be more worldwide because obviously French is speaking in Africa.
If I was only actually good at it.
Yeah, and then we both struggle with Spanish.
Of course, always a struggle. I think what's a bit of a disgrace is we got pen pals at the age of, we must have been 6 or 7, from German students who are the same age. So they're writing to us in English, but obviously we write back to them in English, not German. And it shows how far advanced they get in terms of like learning a language, right? It really is quite embarrassing.
That's funny. You just write back in English.
Yeah, that's what we did.
I love it.
English education system, you can't beat it.
Did you have pen pals?
No, not in Germany.
You didn't have any German or any English pen pals?
But like you are right. In German schools, we learned how to do multiplication and cursive in the first grade. So when we moved back to the States, it was like, I could skip a couple grades. And I was like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be the weird German girl. Like, I'm okay. So that is true, though.
That is true, though, isn't it? I think, if you combine Europe and USA. Interesting. And for travel as well, was there a trip, Matt, this might be slightly more difficult, I don't know, but is there a trip in your mind when you're younger that maybe ignited a real interest in travel, or at least an idea that maybe in the future you want to do more?
So I think I can maybe answer a little bit. So we did long distance dating for 6 years.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be a little later in life, but yeah.
Yeah, it's not as in young, but we would do long distance dating. So we would see each other once a month and we would spend a couple of days together. And for the most part, we would plan a weekend. So we would have all of these different activities to do to either go and explore a city or a place. And we would do that, I mean, for 6 years, every other month. So if he come down to Florida, we would take him to like the springs in Florida that not a lot of people know about, or, whatever. But I think a big one for us, it was later on in life, was when we went to Vegas in 2013. And it was my brother's 21st birthday. And my family was like, they don't like how I travel because I like to do, see, and eat as much as I possibly can. And I want to walk 25,000 steps to get it all done. And I'm a little too much for them. And so they were like, can we please invite your boyfriend to this trip so we don't have to deal with you, right? That was the whole thing.
True. This is not exaggeration. Truth.
Yeah. And so Matt flew out too, and it was one of the best trips. Literally, it was like I found my travel partner because he was just as crazy as me and wanted to do, see, and eat as much as we possibly could. So
and we did.
Sure. I think we had like 12 or 13 or maybe 20 things on the bucket list. I don't remember, but we only didn't do one of them. Wow. And that was the Stratosphere's like rides up on the top. They were closed. Yep. But we did everything else.
Yeah, I think that was the thing that sparked our travels together for sure. Because like Natalie said, it was like that moment of like, oh, we like to do this the same way. Like, it's not like one of us wanted to lay around by the pool and just, with a drink with an umbrella in our hand and enjoy it that way. Like, we were like, nope, we are going and literally walking is all over this city. I think earlier on, I think I always had this desire for like this wanderlust, this desire for adventure, but again, not having the means to maybe do it at a younger age. Obviously there's so much that's not in your control at a young age. You're just along for the ride of whatever your family is able to make happen. Like I said, I'm super grateful for all of those times we had. Right after I graduated high school, me and my cousin, who's still one of my best friends, and another really good friend there in high school, I was working for my dad at that summer, and he owns an automotive shop, so I was like running parts back and forth between shops and parts stores and all this stuff. So I had a lot of time on the road, so I would end up talking to my buddies on drives. So we were talking this is probably beginning of summer, so maybe the first week of June, we had really seriously started talking about what if we actually did this crazy cross-country road trip that we had been talking about doing for years.
Oh, wow.
Like, we had always just like dreamed of like doing that American road trip from coast to coast kind of thing. But it was always like, we can't do that. Like, that's, when would we have the time? How would we have the money? So then the more we talked, it was more like, man, wouldn't that be awesome? And I remember my buddy, I was on the drive one day and he said, why don't we just quit talking about it and actually do it? And I was like, I mean, we're in between high school and college right now. When else are we going to have time to do this? So we were like, all right. So I went got back to the shop that day with my dad and kind of started like, trying to slowly seed that idea of like, hey, Dad, so,
what do you think?
What about if I know I'm working for you this summer, but what if I took some time off?
Some holiday,
Yeah, some holiday, and took my 1995 Honda Accord and drove it from South Carolina to California. So long story short, me and those two really good friends, we left for 2 weeks, I think is all it was, because that's all we could get away. And we literally drove from South Carolina to LA, Malibu, all the way up into Oregon, back over to Chicago, and then back down to South Carolina. This was well before, smartphones and all that. So there's so much we didn't see that we drove right past and didn't even know we were driving past, because there wasn't like pull up the app and see what's near us. It was pull up the road atlas and see if you can figure out where we're at,
The good old days, I'd say.
Yeah. It was honestly great. Now, navigating LA traffic as 3, 17, 18-year-olds.
Or Chicago, where you ended up in a parade.
Yeah, we did end up in a parade. It was Didn't mean to. It was, yeah.
So we had a lot of adventures.
Yeah, lots of adventures on that trip. And again, I think that was like that thing that like I always had the wanderlust, but that like really lit the fire under me. And of course, it wasn't till even much later before I really got to truly start, fulfilling some of that wanderlust. But that really lit the fire under me, I feel like.
It's that time of life where it is before smartphones. I know I bang on about it quite a bit on the podcast, but there is something in that where you just don't know literally. Well, you're following a sign, but that's it. There's no extra information. You might see another sign that says this. I'll check this out and see what it's about, right? But there's something about that that's quite strong, I think.
Yeah, I mean, and like for instance, like in LA, for instance, we knew we wanted to see the Hollywood sign. We didn't know how to get to it. We didn't know anything. So we just drove around until we saw it. Like we were like, it's up on a hill. We can't miss it, right? So we were like, got in the general area that we kind of thought it was. And we were like, oh, there it is. Cool. We did. Then when the Redwoods Forest, we were up in Northern California, and we were like, this is awesome, beautiful. And we stumbled onto the chandelier tree, which is the drive-through tree, like the most famous one.
Yeah.
Literally stumbled onto it. Like we're driving and saw a sign that said, chandelier drive-through tree. And I had remembered seeing that tree in my like 6th grade science book. And that was like in my mind ingrained, like, I want to go do that. And I saw that. I was like, we've got to go do that.
Yeah. That's a big moment, that, isn't it?
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. But to your point, exactly. Like there's something kind of special about those times pre-technology with traveling. Not all technology, because we did have phones, but yeah.
And what's interesting is I hear on the podcast, Nat, this is probably more for you, people who travel a lot when they're younger don't tend to love it as much or travel as much when they're older. I've seen that a few times. I don't know if that obviously doesn't resonate with you, but can you see why? Because maybe you have to keep moving houses, or this is like probably for more like airline pilots or military, right? They have to keep dotting around different countries and resettling, and it probably grates on them at a younger age. So they probably yearn to stay still for longer and quickly, right? I'd imagine.
No, I mean, that is true. It's always been, the grass is always greener, right? Even when I was growing up, I always wanted to have a house that I never moved. And you have all of like these lifelong friends. I'm like, I can't imagine you have a friend that you've known for that long. Like, what? But I think just realizing, like Matt said, there's so many decisions that you didn't have as a kid, and realizing that there's pros and cons to both. I think that's why we have a base. I don't think I would ever really truly want to go like full nomadic for a long period of time. We could probably do it for shorter periods or something like that. But I do love having a home base where you have community near you. I think that's kind of important. So yeah, but I can understand how some people.
Yeah, I mean, even to your point, Natalie's father, who was an airline pilot from the time he was until he retired in early 2000s. In his later age, he didn't care. Like we would talk to him. He just passed recently. But we would talk to him, and he'd be like, "I've done all the traveling I need to do.
Really?
I'm good with being right here."
Yeah, because I work for an airline, and so I was like, "Dad, you can fly anywhere in the world if you want to. Like, I've got tickets, like wherever you want to go." And he's like, "I'm good. I've seen it." And I'm like, "Really?" So yeah, to your point, I didn't think about that.
That's interesting. Yeah. Maybe just the amount of miles he's traveled probably just gets. Maybe there's a threshold for anyone who gets to that level where you're like, do you know what? I'm done. And maybe we're actually working towards ourselves. We don't know that yet.
True. We may be those people that are like, you can go anywhere in the world. Here's the plane tickets, and we're like, I'm good.
My tea is here, and I'm gonna talk on.
We're gonna be grumpy
Zoom.
old people. Like, no, I don't want to do it. Yeah, I can't imagine that as of right now, but we'll see.
No, not at all.
But I think that the base thing is an interesting one. I never thought I needed one until we went away 2 years ago, and we did a year, and I was like, not again without a base, because I think you do need to disconnect and just chill out for a bit if you have to or need to. I think it's key. I think it's actually key for long-term travel, I think.
Yeah, I would imagine so. Like we've always had a home base, and there was a little time there we were like, man, what would it look like to do the fully nomadic thing, sell it all, and just travel? And I think the more we thought about it, and then the more we got into doing what we do, we were like, no, there's some sanity that having a home base brings for us, and just a comfort to it, knowing like as much as we love travel, love being on the go, we typically don't travel for more than like 3 weeks to a month at a time on the longest end.
Yeah.
And, as much as we love it, when you get home, there is that just kind of like sigh of like exhale, I'm home,
Yeah. I think that's underrated, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you mentioned careers. I just want to touch very briefly on that before we go into travels. Nat, you mentioned you work for an airline.
Mm-hmm. I do.
Now, Matt sort of told me, well, she sort of does, but barely does any hours.
So hopefully they're not watching. That is accurate. My work. So what happened was we were both musicians, right? And then what year was it? 2019?
19, yeah.
I was looking for a job. The music industry was super toxic. I was burnout. And so I was like, okay, what's another job that we could do? And we love travel, right? So my parents were both like, you should just get an airline job. You get free flights. You can, do whatever. And so I applied, and really it's been amazing. I don't think we would have been able to do this without it. But yeah, so I work part-time for an airline. You can pick up as many hours as you'd like. I now give them as many of them as I can away, because this has kind of taken over our life. And since I edit the videos, it just, works out. But so I try to work as little as possible without getting in trouble. I might have gotten in trouble for not working as many hours last
That's what I've heard.
quarter. So every month we're like, am I going to be working for the airline? I don't know. So we'll just see.
Let's not name the airline. We'll keep that secret.
I appreciate it.
Matt did warn me that, she's sort of on the threshold here a little bit. It's like, well.
Well, the good news is she does currently still have a job. But we don't, that's, ever changing. That could change tomorrow.
It could, yeah.
How do you find it as well, your job, sorry? Like, how do you, because I've interviewed a few flight attendants, right? And they've got some crazy stories, I must admit. Sort of love and hate. I think love parts of it. Some of it, hate's a bit of a strong word, but dislike some parts of it as well. It can be pretty tough.
So the only part that I like, A, is my coworkers. They're really great. Sure. And B, the flight benefits. Because I work on the customer service side, right? So I'm the one that gets yelled at when there are delays.
She's at the gate or the ticket counter.
Yeah. Or if your bag gets lost. None of which are really great. The only time that is nice is at the ticket counter when you're excited for your trip and you're ready to check in. But then I tell you your bag's 58 pounds and you got to take 8 pounds. You know what I mean? It's just never really great.
Or you tell them there's mechanical delays and
or the flight is canceled.
Or
hey, sorry. Yeah. So I don't like confrontation. I don't like disappointing people. But it's been a really great thing for me because we have so much knowledge in the travel space that I'm always like, okay, this is not the airline employee talking, but like, tell me you put this on a travel credit card or that has travel insurance. Please tell me you did that. And they're like, well, actually, yeah, I think I did. And I'm like, okay, well, you call them. Making sure no management's not listening to me because I'm, all of these other things. Because sometimes airlines will just screw you because it's a corporation. So it is hard just in the customer service side. And I hate getting yelled at all the time. But in those moments, like this week, I'm working, I think like 24 hours just on Saturday alone to make up shifts because we were gone for our group trip.
Hang on, you're in a 24-hour shift on a Saturday?
Yeah, she'll pretty much start.
There's 24 hours in a day.
Yeah. So I'm literally working.
I guess it technically overlaps into Sunday morning.
It does. Sunday morning. Yeah, to like 1:30 in the morning on Sunday.
Wow.
So like there all day.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how we were able to start this channel is I got to pick up shifts and move stuff around so we could travel.
Yeah, we always encourage, like, especially if somebody's younger and wanting to figure out how to travel.
Yeah.
And honestly, the airlines, it can be a great career path for people as well. But if you're looking for ways to travel, if you love travel and want to find ways to do it more, the airline jobs are pretty incredible for that. Just the discounts that you get on flights make it. It's like Natalie said, it's honestly the only reason we were able to get our business off the ground. We wouldn't have been able to do it without it.
No, and my mom was a flight attendant. My dad was a pilot. That's how they met. So definitely recommend doing it. I would do it for one of the big ones, one of the legacy ones, if I had to do it all over again. Maybe like Delta or American.
Yeah. Is it the same benefits if you're, I don't know, a mechanic as opposed to customer service and a flight attendant? Are they all the same benefits or is there certain perks for each job?
Yeah, so it really just depends. It depends on the airline. And it also depends on where you're based, right?
Okay.
So in Nashville, I think some of them are business partners, right? So I think Spirit, United, and I think even American are business partners. So they're technically not American or United employees. They're a business partner employee, which means you get less benefits. So that's something that I would always check out in the interview process, is double checking exactly what you get. Like, what are the benefits that you get? Because in the airline industry, seniority is everything. So once you're in, a lot of stuff is based off of your seniority. So you don't really want to like hop around to different airlines for that. So that's why, if you're going to do an airline job, definitely try and stick it out. As long as you can.
Like Natalie said, making sure like if you do, hers is from the beginning, hers has always been a part-time job.
Yeah.
And that was by design, because if you work full-time, you can't take can't take advantage of the benefits.
Yeah, of course.
So, but making sure that, that airline is your employer, not a third-party company.
Yeah. Okay. And Matt, what do you do?
So I'm, like Natalie said, Adventures of Matt and Nat. I was a full-time musician, and honestly, all the way up until about 2 years ago, year and a half ago, probably 2.5 years ago, was really had pursued that, and it was a large part of my focus and my career. It's what I had done for more than a decade, but now it's extremely part-time at this point. I play a couple of gigs a year with different friends who play, and then I lead worship at a church pretty much every Sunday that we're back in town. And they've been great to me. They're super flexible and understanding with our schedule, which is a hard thing to find because our schedule is all over the place, but they're always really kind about it. Yeah. So that's what I do. I'd say probably anywhere from 30 to 40 like Sundays a year. I'm probably leading worship on Sunday at church.
Okay. Fair enough. And I've got some pot shot travel questions first.
Oh, all right.
They're just easy. You can answer in one word or a sentence, whatever you want.
I'm already sweating.
And then we'll go into some of your travels and your 1,000 Places to See Before You Die book, which is linked to YouTube. So, and then we'll touch on YouTube. What type of traveler are you? It's a broad question, but I'm going more along the lines of, you kind of mentioned a little bit already. Are you go, go, go? Are you much more relaxed these days? Has it changed over time from being maybe younger to partying and meeting people now to more seeing a bit of culture, learning about more stuff? Like where you're at right now with what type of traveler you are?
I thought for a really long time, probably just until this year, that I was like very go with the flow. I'm easy. But I've realized that I'm very type A personality, that I like to have an itinerary.
Okay.
And I want to see, do, and eat as much as we possibly can. That's our travel style, right? Because, if you don't have that much time, we want to fit in as much as we possibly can. I do think we call them trips, right? Because, again, they're work trips now. But before, that's how we traveled before. Vacations for us are more of the relaxed, chill, maybe hanging out by the pool a little bit more. So we kind of have two different levels, I guess we would call it. Sometimes we're like, we need a vacation, not a trip.
But we don't really vacation.
We always end up filming.
I never do it. I can't do it. I need it, but I can't do it.
Vacation on the calendar, a specific, like we're going on a vacation, to the Caribbean or whatever it is. We're not going to film. And then the closer it gets,
we're like,
well, we could
film
this video. And then before you know it, we're filming 3 videos in a 5-day time.
And then we need a break afterwards. Yeah.
But I would say, we land, think as we've you kind of hit on it a little bit. As we have gotten a little bit older, we have less of this, and what we do for our jobs now, obviously with this travel channel, we have less of the scarcity mindset with travel. I think for a long time, it was kind of that idea of like, we're never going to be back here. We have to do it all. And I think now we go in, and this has just been in the last couple of years, 3 years probably, we go into trips and we're like, you know what? We don't have to fit everything in. Let's do what we can. And obviously for our videos, we're known to just pack in as much as we can, because many people that are traveling, they probably aren't going back to the place again. So we try to shoot our videos through that lens, because that's who we're shooting our videos for. Or many times those first time visitors that are going to a city and want to squeeze it all in. But I think us personally, we have gotten better at we're still fast travelers, no doubt, but we're much better at slowing it down. And we love the culture, the history. We're foodies. So anytime we can learn more about a culture through their food, that's always a bonus. But we probably land somewhere in the middle now. It's, slow travel is something that would be great, but
it's definitely a luxury that people don't talk about.
Absolutely.
It really is.
Yeah, for sure.
So.
Yeah, but I think mid-tier, right? We're like the normal. We always joke that we think that we're like a little above average, but it always ends up being that we're just average.
We're just the average tourist, James.
It's an average podcast. That doesn't matter.
Yeah, she's like, yeah.
We're all averages. How important is local travel? I mean, I know we're probably going to touch on this a little bit with your YouTube. Do you think it's important to travel your own country a little bit before you go international, or doesn't matter?
I think so. America, especially, is so huge, so vast. I'll tell you a story. So our first time out of the country, wasn't it our honeymoon? Yeah, right?
Well, yeah, because we only went to the Bahamas. I mean, technically we went to the Bahamas, but yeah.
That is true. But our first big international trip where we flew there was our honeymoon, and we went to Barbados. And it was a beautiful island, and we're sitting with our taxi driver because we hired a private driver for the day. And he was like, "Why are you here?" And we were like, "What do you mean, sir?" And he was like, "America has everything. Have you seen it all?" And it was one of those where a light bulb went off for both of us. And he knew more about our country than we did. And it was very eye-opening to be like, huh, okay, yeah, you're right. That is true. I didn't think about it like that. And obviously, when we did our 50 States in a Year series, we were able to really explore our own backyard and realize how beautiful and vast and amazing the U.S. is when it comes to the nature and just the different cities and cultures and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and then also from the more cultural standpoint, I think it's important to explore more of your own country wherever it's at, whether it's the U.S., whether it's back home in England, because not to get on any kind of political rant here at all, but just to say, you realize, media tends to divide,
especially in the U.S.
Divide people, especially within countries. You're divided. Huge. So when you get out and travel, you're able to realize how much you're alike with everybody. Even people that on paper you would look at and be like, "Oh, there's no way I will ever get along with that person because media told me this is how they do this. This is how they do this." Yeah. And then you sit down and have a conversation with them. And you just realize we're all very similar, and most people are good people.
Yeah, very key. That's a key message. One I try to promote a lot because it is so true. Mm-hmm. So if anyone's listening and they're not sure, that is definitely true. If you go to any country or any state, they're probably going to be, on the whole, all right people. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
They'll help you out if you're in trouble or give you some advice. That generally does happen.
Exactly.
Yeah. Chris and Sarah, our friends, are in England at the minute. And we're messaging them. They're like, "Oh, we need all the tips." I'm actually a little bit ashamed. I don't have that many tips because I've not seen much of my own country. I've seen my area of where I'm from a little bit, not that much, but a little bit. And I used to live in London, right? But other than that, I was like, apart from watching football, I've not really been to anywhere. I felt a bit ashamed saying it. So I was like, "Sarah, I've got all the recommendations where I'm from, and here they are, but I've got really nothing else for much else."
You know that I love that because it's something we talk about regularly. And I saw a Instagram reel or TikTok the other day, and I don't even remember who it was by. I wish I could credit them. It was the idea that you always, when people come to Nashville, people are like, we'll get comments on our Nashville video. We have an hour-long Nashville video that lays out literally an extensive list of things to do in Nashville, just a wide range, broad net, high level, what to do. And then you can dig in deeper to figure out, within these categories, what you want to do. But all that to say, we'll get comment every month or two, or I'm sure you get it all the time, like that saying, "Hey, can you give us some places that the locals go? The places, that aren't the tourist places, blah, blah, blah." And to your point, what you just said, I'm like, do you want to eat at Chick-fil-A? Because that's where the locals are kind of going.
Yeah.
I mean,
we've got a taco stand next to our place.
We have a taco truck next to the dumpster behind the liquor store beside our house that's really good. We love.
And then it's like, well, where do the locals go? I'm like, we usually don't go anywhere unless there's an event. So what do you mean the locals?
It's the same for there's a place called a chain called Weatherspoons in UK. Did you go to Weatherspoons in UK? Mm-hmm. It's a real cheap, I guess it's low end, cheap drinking and eating, and it's kind of the place you go to when you're a student because it's so cheap. And I jokingly put that in as a recommendation for Chris and Sarah. It's like, well, locals go to Weatherspoons. It's not going to be pretty. You're going to see some characters. But that's where local people go because it's cheap. And it's like the Chick-fil-A thing. Exactly the same.
Yeah, and many times, like now I said, the locals, you're probably going to be bored with what they're just living life.
Yeah, of course.
They're not out experiencing their city, doing all the
and
things.
eating at all the new hot restaurants every single week. It's like, no, we're saving money so we could travel.
That said, we do have lots of recommendations for Nashville, but we almost have to be intentional about seeking
Exploring
those out,
new
like
places.
going out and going to new places rather than we're creatures of comfort. Everybody is. So you kind of land in these zones of like, well, we know we like this place. Let's just go there again.
And also too, there's a lot of traffic and there's like a lot of effort to explore and do those things where we can just stay on our little side of town that's a little bit less crowded and
quieter,
crazy and just stay there.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't know what to say really, but for me, I got caught out on a podcast episode once where I was repping my own city, and he said, "Oh, where do people stay?" I'm like, well, I don't know. I never stayed anywhere because I've just stayed at home.
Exactly.
So I had to reel off like 2 or 3 hotels that I know are in the city centre. They're probably really expensive, but I listed them out and I was like, you can stay there.
We do the same thing in Nashville because, same thing. It's like, well, we live here.
Well, that's why we had to be really intentional with our Nashville video. We got so many comments constantly. Like Matt has a blog. I think it's a 28-minute read. Like it is very extensive.
Wow.
And it was very intentional for us to do those things where we literally were like, okay, people want to know the hotels. People want to know the areas. People want
to. We spent like on and off, not like consistently, but 2.5 to 3 months
of research,
of going out and experiencing things, going to these different places, doing the tourist,
and it was stuff
things
that we'd never done before. And we'd lived here for like 6 or 7 years. And it was like, it was really neat. It was neat.
Yeah. So we got to play tourists in our own town, but also got to give a little more of the maybe local recommendations off the beaten path stuff. But I understand that emotion of like, I don't know what to tell you to
I don't know where
here.
to stay.
Like, I don't know where to stay. I can tell you our address, I guess. It's where we stay.
I can give you Airbnb's website. Yeah, it's a difficult one, isn't it? Yeah. I did a top 10 for Norwich, where I'm from. I was going through like, never stayed there. Been in there once. I was listening to all these things to do, and like, I've not even done them myself. Bit of shame to say that really, but hey, here's what it is. It's a great recommendation, by the way. Just want to go check out on YouTube. It's good. Right, okay. Let's go to accommodation. What do you normally stay in? Are you hostels? Are you mid-range hotels? Are you luxury?
We're
mid-range to luxury.
Mid-range hotels. And I'll say this. Luxury when they host us or pay us to come stay there.
But hopefully one day we'll just be able to do it and pay it for ourselves. Come on, Matt. I'm more of the luxury person. Let's be real. He is very frugal. So he will always do like mid-tier $100 hotels, maybe.
Well,
and I'm like, let's do a boutique hotel. This would be cute. So we balance each other out there.
We land in the mid-range. We've done one hostel ever, and it was in the U.S. Wasn't it? Most people, hostels are definitely associated with Europe for the most part. But our only hostel we've ever done was in Jackson, Wyoming.
Because the hotels were so expensive.
Right.
Yeah, we were
How much was our hostel? It was like over.
Our hostel was like $110 a night, something like that.
That's great.
And it was a
bunk bed.
It was a queen bed in the wall, is what it was. And I will say it was nice.
Yeah,
like it was clean and nice and modern. It was like that boutique upper tier hostel kind of thing. But it was in like the basement of another property. There was no airflow. It was really hot.
The amount of money that they were making, like how many queen bunk beds were there? I was like, man.
Yeah, so that's our only hostel experience in Jackson, Wyoming.
Yeah. Do you know what? If we're having this conversation 10 years ago, I'd be like, you got to try a hostel. Like they're really cheap, they're good value, but current day today, because I've stayed in loads, they're just not that cheap anymore. And I think the mid-range hotels are within reach now in terms of cost and value, which I don't think has ever been that way, especially in Europe and USA and Canada, definitely for sure, and Australia, New Zealand, that side of the world as well. I just think there's more options now where it's a little bit more comfortable, and it's a shame because it kind of ruins that backpacker feel a little bit.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, we went to Switzerland and stayed in a hostel, and it's like 140 euros a night. I'm like, what is going on here? I'd rather stop.
Yeah, that's not what I think of when I think of hostel.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You think of a good deal.
Yeah.
And we did Airbnbs when we first started, especially in Europe. But, they tack on all of these extra fees, cleaning fees, And then we would have to take the trash out and do all of this stuff. And it was like,
Have
well,
to hunt for the key when I get there. Like it's
Yeah.
like scavenger
Yeah.
hunt, you know?
Got to work for it, yeah.
yeah. And it was like the same price as a hotel or maybe a little bit cheaper. But
Yeah,
it was like with
exactly.
all the effort, it was like, we'll just stay in a hotel. But they don't care if
Yeah.
we have to find a
course.
key or clean up our trash or, you know.
And as we've gotten older, I love the comforts of my space, like having, you know,
Agreed.
our private space. And then on top of also now we're traveling with a lot of gear.
Yes.
That's a whole nother factor. Being a couple, one, that's like first thing of like, okay,
Sure.
hostels get a little bit, you know, I know there's plenty of couples that do hostels. Then we've gotten older and it's like, I'll spend a little extra money. And kind of like you said, the mid-tier hotels are like right within reach now of many hostels, like at least hostels that we would want to stay in anyway.
Yeah, of course.
You know,
Yeah.
so, and then you add the fact that we're traveling with as much gear as we travel with now and have to think about charging that gear at nights for next day of filming. And
Yes.
it gets
Yeah.
to be a lot. So it's nice to just have a private space, you know, is, you know, kind of locked off from everyone else.
That's an extra question for gear and content. I don't know if you do much on the road, but is that also key? Because I learned last year in Central America, I was like, I need a private room because I just need to do some stuff on a laptop with a desk for at least an hour or two, maybe every 3 or 4 days, I think is needed. And then if it doesn't have a good common room or a good guaranteed area of electricity, it kind of gets a bit of a problem. You guys must face that as well.
100%.
Yeah. That's why most of the hotels, like they have Wi-Fi and all of that stuff. It's like, okay, you don't have to worry about it. Well,
Most of the
sometimes.
time.
Okay. I've got some deep questions here, but I'm going to avoid them for a minute. What's your favorite type of travel? And what I mean by that is, are you looking to do adventure sports? Are you looking to do like wine and food sort of tours? Are you looking to do just walking and exploring kind of off the cuff? Like, is there any type of travel you like? Because I love doing like cafes in a day. I do like maybe 4 cafes in the morning and see if they're got great coffee, right? That's like a little content thing I like doing and enjoy it as well. Is there anything like that you like?
I think for us, it's the variety that we love so much. And when we did our 50 states in a year, that was the one thing that we really loved was the variety part of it. And we love exploring the big cities and getting to just walk around and, you know, using the metro and stuff. But we also love national parks where we get to hike and see all that. We also love beaches. So I think the variety part is for us the best. And I think it just depends on the location on what we're doing.
Yeah, but we do a lot of our videos land in that, you know, city tour area, you know, if we're in cities, obviously. But we love, I love a good cup of coffee. Any place we're starting, I'm like looking for, you know, one of the better coffee shops or, you know, at least trying to find something like that. And then we always love getting out on the water as well, you know, whether that's a sunset cruise or whatever that looks like. There's just something, I don't know.
That draws both of us to water.
Yeah, we just are drawn to the water. And I know they're touristy, like the sunset cruises and that kind of stuff.
Oh, but they're great, aren't they?
Man, we've had some great ones from
from Budapest to Paris to
Portland, Maine was a great one. Yeah, there's just been some really good ones, and it just
Portland,
gets you.
Oregon, where we did the sailboat.
Oh yeah.
And Hood.
Oh yeah, the Hood River.
Oh right, okay.
Up
Yeah,
on the
for
Columbia
travel
River.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
so so we love getting on the water. So we always
Of
like to
course,
have
food.
some kind. Yeah, we're foodies, but yeah, whatever that. Like if we're somewhere, whatever that is, you know, that culture or that city is known for, like we want to experience that thing, you know. If we're in Switzerland, you know, if we're in,
Oh yeah, we're doing adventure travel.
we're gonna
baby.
want to do some of the adventure stuff if we're in Switzerland, you know, doing whether it's
Pushing outside of
bungee
our-
jumping from the cable car or skydiving or something like that. Like I want to do it if I'm there. You know, it's the best place in the world to do it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Makes me
She's sweating
sweat
over here
just
already.
thinking about it.
She's the one here that has actually skydived before. I haven't.
Yeah, true.
Oh, it's the best, isn't it? It's the ultimate
It is.
freedom.
Oh,
almost.
it is. The bungee jumping is what scares me the most.
Oh,
yeah.
I won't do that.
Terrifying.
No. Paragliding is my big thing. That's my next adventure thing. Paragliding
See,
is pretty cool.
I would love to do that.
Yeah.
Where are you wanting to do it in Switzerland, or you have a place or no?
I actually want to do it in Guatemala at Lake
nice.
Atitlan, but I got there and I said to the guy, "Oh, I'm really interested." He goes, "Nah, mate." I said, "What do you mean?" I said, "It's like 30 degrees, sunny." He goes, "Nah, the winds are too strong." And we think it's going to be like that for a week. And I've got like a whole week's worth of people waiting. I was like, "Oh, well, I'll go in 2 days." But apparently it's one of the best places to do it in Lake Atitlan. But I'm not really kind of married to a location. I just want to get the activity done. But it has to be proper and it has to be like good weather, good views. So I'm not going to rush it, but it's on my mind.
Yeah, I understand that. I feel the same way. Like we're talking about doing Switzerland probably next year. And if it works out, we'll do it there. But I'm with you. The location isn't as much. I just want it to be a good location, whatever it is.
Mine wasn't great. Like skydiving.
Oh, you're skydiving.
We got it on a Groupon. I don't know if you know what that is. Like a deal with me and my bestie.
How many people do you know that would buy their skydiving off a Groupon?
I think that's the first,
2 college kids that didn't have any money. And it literally was like not pretty at all. It was like the middle of Florida. So just like a bunch of farmland. It was just flat. You didn't even see the ocean or anything. It wasn't even that cool. And the plane broke when we got there. And they were like, so do you want to reschedule or do you want to like wait? And we were like, we'll wait. We drove here. Wait. And of course we didn't tell my mom or anything.
No.
And then we got a call that the plane was fixed. And we were like, I mean, it's the safest plane ride we're ever going to be taking, right? We've already got parachutes on, right?
Yeah,
and that was our
parachute.
our rationale.
And they just fixed the plane.
Yeah, so
it's
we're
freshly
fine.
fixed.
Freshly fixed, Bloody hell. If only you knew what that fix was, would that change your mind? Oh yeah, the petrol gauge has kind of been like fixed, and would you trust a non-leaking petrol tank? I don't know.
That was dumb.
God, do you know what? Unbelievable. That's an unbelievable story. And fair play. That is, if I heard that on my skydive, I'd be straight back on the bus.
A rational
not this
person
one.
would
Not
do
this
that,
one.
but not me. I was like, it'll be fine. It's so dumb.
Unbelievable. Yeah, I did mine twice. I did one for charity, actually. First one. I was only 17. You must have it in USA, like an air ambulance organisation. Maybe the hospitals have it, where they fly out to like locations where it's a bit difficult to get to and they pick people up. So I did it for that. And the second one was in New Zealand, and that was a experience. I don't know if this is weird, Natalie, I don't know, but just bear with me on this. When you skydived, did you have a problem breathing? Because what happened with me on the first time, I was trying to breathe just normally in and out, but because you're free falling, you can't catch your breath, right? Because the wind's like rushing past you. And I felt like I was suffocating for like 35 seconds. It's a bit of an experience.
For sure. I mean, nobody looks cute when you're skydiving. Like
100%.
we thought we were like your jowls are flapping in the wind.
Yeah.
And it's like, like you said, you can't catch your breath because the wind is just coming so hard at you. Like you the scariest part for me was seeing my friend, she went first. And it was like, when you spit outside the window and in a moving car, it just like flies by. Well, that was her. She literally was there and then she was gone. And I was like, I have to go next? Like, what do you mean? And then, you choke to death on the way down with your, your cheeks going. It's not, For filming for YouTube, I bet it's not going to be that cute, but we'll still do it. Be like,
I just hope I'm not the person that, you see the ones where the guy like passes out, it screams, passes out, and wakes up. Yeah. And I'm hoping I'm not that person.
That would be so funny.
But there is a trick, and there's an unbelievable bit of advice. Breathe through your nose. Just close your mouth and breathe through your nose.
Oh,
so
really?
when I was sitting on the edge of that plane in New Zealand, I was like, right, James, I'm not worried about free falling here. I'm not worried about people jumping off and not seeing them again. I'm like, just make sure you breathe properly and close your mouth.
Accurate.
And it worked. Yeah.
That helps you deal with all of the other anxieties that surround that experience.
That was my only anxiety jumping out was breathing.
Just breathe.
Weird.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
How was that in New Zealand? Was that an awesome experience?
Yeah, it's at Lake Taupo, which is got mountains around the lake. It's pretty serene. I was on a Q experience. I was pretty young, and you get like a choice of activities as you drive around New Zealand and each island. So I just put my hand up for that one and thought, I'll try it again. And there's about 8 of us that did it, and it's a pretty good experience. We all, as you said, jumped off at the same time. Gone.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But I wish I got it filmed. That's the only thing. So I need to do it again and have someone. I'll probably pay the extra to get someone there to do it with me. Yeah.
For sure.
But
ours is just like on a GoPro. Nobody's ever seen it, I don't think, because I thought it was so ugly of me that I don't think I've ever watched it back.
It was probably on like a GoPro Hero 3.
Oh, yeah.
The
quality's probably way bad.
Oh, you've got to release that as a video.
I got to find it first. That's a good idea. Okay, I'll look into it.
Bit of like behind the scenes content. Maybe your patrons, they pay for some stuff like that, don't they?
Exactly.
That's true. Exactly.
I'll write it on my to-do list. Thanks, James, for giving me something else to do.
No worries. I don't want to see it. Okay, let's get some places where you travelled. I'm going to start with 1,000 places to see before you die. I know that was a big thing for YouTube to start with, but tell listeners, like, what is that book? I never read it. Like, why did you get embroiled in that sort of book to maybe base your travels off?
Do you want me to talk about it?
Oh, you can if you want.
Because I had to convince Matt to do this.
Yeah.
So we started our channel with seeing all 50 states in a calendar year. Mm-hmm. And so we finished that. And after that, we were like, okay, what's next for our channel? We love having like a story arc. And so we were in a play at Key West,
yeah.
at a bookstore buying postcards for our patrons. And I see this book. And as Matt's checking out, I'm like, oh my gosh, this lady, Trisha Schultz, literally put a bunch of the things that we did for our 50 states in a year. So I'm already like starting to trust her a little bit because we've got great taste. And obviously she does. And so, it was like looking through and I was like, oh, we've done that. Oh, we just did that. Oh, that's, and I was like, oh, this would be really cool. So other people can experience it with us. Like they can go buy the book and we get to do it together kind of, story. And so I brought it up to Matt and Matt was like, no, that's too many places.
I was just like, I mean, it's a cool idea, but 1,000 places? Like, that's a lot. So yeah, it was literally months, probably 2 to 3 months of like us going back and forth of like, well, what's the next, story arc for our channel? Because we kind of felt like we were just wandering aimlessly a little bit without some kind of goal to aim, to point our efforts towards.
And other people had done, the number of countries before, and it was like, okay, what's something else that we could do? And we loved the variety that the 50 states in a year gave us. A lot of people were like,
we'll do all the national park
or go visit all the beaches in the Caribbean, and it's like, you would get so bored with just doing the same thing over and over again. We need that variety. We need the difference in cultures. And so...
yeah, that's it. After a while, I finally reached the conclusion and like in my head was like, okay, we don't have to visit all 1,000 places. I mean, that's the goal, obviously. That's the long goal. But my biggest thing was like, for me, I'm a person of kind of like, if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. So if I say I'm going to all 1,000 places, I'm a failure if I didn't go to all 1,000 places.
And me, I'm like, I mean, I'll do my best.
There's worse things to aim for, I think.
Exactly.
So for me, it was making that understanding in my head of it was going to as many of the 1,000 places as we could. And given the goal is still the same, it's just I had to make the switch in my mind of like, it just made it less overwhelming for me to be able to make that switch of like, all right, we're going to set out to do as many of these as we can rather than, all right, hard set, we're doing all 1,000. Like that was a big thing for me. So yeah, once I made that switch, we were like, all right, I think we can do this. And so that was kind of how we launched it. Again, no affiliation with the book at all. We've now have communication with the publisher, with the publishing company, and Patricia Schultz actually,
I think she
actually knows who we are now and has, I think, seen our content.
That's true or not?
Big time. That is big time.
Big time.
Well, what's funny is my mentality with life in general is I would rather ask for forgiveness than permission. And we didn't know if they were going to be like, yeah, no, you can't use the book. If we would have asked for it in the beginning.
It's the chance. Yeah.
Exactly. They could have said no. And then we were like, oh my gosh, we just fell in love with this idea. Like, what are we going to do now? And so it was like, we're just going to start it and we'll see how it goes. And hopefully nobody else is.
And our first email we got from the publisher, we were like, is this good or bad?
And thank God it was good. Thank God it was good.
I mean, you could just reframe it as like, we're going to go to 1,000 places that we like, but they just have to be the same.
That is true. I didn't think about that.
You don't own these places.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, I'm glad to hear they gave you the go ahead. That's great.
Yeah.
How many places had you gone to at that point when you introduced the book and Matt was on the fence? Like, have you done like maybe 10 or 20 of those?
That's a good question.
Places?
I think so.
Probably
it was around there.
In that probably 10, probably no more than 15 to 18, but probably no less than 10. So somewhere in that dozen mark range somewhere in there.
And how many are you at now?
It's funny. I'm actually pulling that up now because I'm trying to remember.
And I don't know the last time we updated it.
No, I've done it.
Oh, you have?
This year.
Good for Matt. But that's not any of our 50 states in a year stuff, is it?
Yeah, there's some. Yeah, it's on here.
Oh, okay.
So we haven't updated it probably in like the last 2 months, but we're at, it looks like 91 right now.
Wow.
So probably close to like 96.
Yeah, we're somewhere in there because we did quite a bit in Greece. We did some in Belgium as well. We tacked Belgium on the end.
Another 5.
Yeah,
we just did.
Yeah, we're probably in that 96 range, coming up on the 100. So we're almost 10% there.
Is that a big one, or do you think about those things, or
we don't? We just are like, what's next?
We probably should and make it more of a thing.
We're gonna knock out all the really great ones early on, and then
the last one's gonna suck so bad it's gonna be like
with some obscure mini golf place, and who knows?
It's funny because the OCD kicks in a little bit, right? I had an interview a few months ago now with Jacob Lemansky. He biked around the world for 999 days. And for me, I don't care. I'm not OCD, but I know some people I know, like, why the fuck are you not going to 1,000 days? Why not
Literally,
why
that
not
was
round it
my
out?
first thought when you said 999. I was like,
Yeah.
why wouldn't he just do one more?
Yeah, he's like, wasn't a thing. Even I'm like, oh, it's a little bit of a thing, isn't it? Biking 999 days.
At that point, you could have just thrown one extra day in there. Like,
It's so funny, isn't it? Yeah. Like,
That's
a great
hysterical.
trip, a great interview. Like,
Yeah.
fair play. Jake was a great guy, but a part of me is like, even I'm like, oh, 1,000 would be
he
nice.
he did that for rage bait.
Yeah,
He did that on
absolutely.
purpose for marketing purposes. He was like, oh, okay, this is going to get people talking.
Made me laugh. Okay, and do you have like the one last place you want to leave till last, or is that too risky?
No, you know what's so funny is I think your last guest, Armchair Aaron from TravelCon that we got to meet.
Oh,
he
yeah,
was the
Aaron
first
Miller,
person
yeah.
to ever ask me that.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, oh, haven't even thought that far ahead. But we just haven't decided.
Yeah, we haven't
Okay.
decided.
Honestly, I need to read the entire book.
Do you know what?
Because there's
that's
a
quite
lot of
good. Yeah. I
yeah,
understand.
there's a lot of times where it's like, okay, where's the best flight deal? Is it in the book?
Yeah,
We're like, yeah,
fair,
cool.
fair.
And then here are these places near it, etc. So that's kind of how we've been using it.
Yeah, like our trip that we tacked on like 5 days in Belgium on
Yeah.
the back end of the Greece trip, and that was mostly a positioning flight purpose because we were flying standby on the way home.
Mm.
So it was like, all right, what's kind of in the flight path from Athens to New York, because that's who we flying through, or the north.
Yeah.
So we were like,
it's a loose
huh?
one. Yeah.
yeah. So like, there's a lot there. But it was like, all right, we need to get kind of
Close
towards
to
Western
Amsterdam.
Europe. We need to
Okay,
get
got
Western Europe.
Yeah.
And we were like, towards a major airport, and that's where we landed on Belgium. We were like, was anything in the book in Belgium?
And
like,
a lot was. And we were like, cool.
that was our, brilliant thinking behind
Very planned out.
going to Belgium on this trip, which we loved, had a great time.
Yeah, it was
but
wonderful.
there was no master mind behind it, really. It was just,
A lot of happy accidents happen with us.
that's the truth.
Yeah, and you mentioned standby. I was going to ask about this actually, but I forgot. So I'm asking now. Standby. So is that how you travel normally, or is that only for certain trips of the year? Like, I can imagine if you're, maybe I'm wrong here. If you're doing a tour and hosting a tour, would you risk doing standby? Which
So
I think you
would-
did last time.
You would think that somebody would be smart enough to just pay for a flight.
Yeah.
And we just kept thinking, there's going to be a deal that comes up.
Yeah.
There'll be a deal that comes up. And there was never a deal that came up.
And you know what's sad is we have tons of credit card points right now, but we've been hoarding them until she leaves her job, because
Mhm.
once she leaves her job, we'll be coming out of pocket, or whenever that happens. We don't know when, but once she does, we'll be, on the hook. We'll have to be buying flights. So we've been kind of hoarding our
Fair.
airline, points for that, or our credit card points for that. But yeah, so to answer your question, like 95% of the time we're flying standby.
And when you look
But-
at the loads, like for JFK to Athens, right?
Yeah.
There was, I think it was 20 open seats in business class and another, I don't know, like 10 in economy. And I was like, sweet, we're the only standbys? Obviously, we're going to
Mhm.
get business class.
Mm.
So yeah, we'll fly standby. And it was so much cheaper. It was less than $200 for both of us to fly to Athens from JFK.
Business class?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
and given it was
I mean, it was
more,
like premium economy.
it was more of an
Okay.
it was an upgraded premium economy because it was on like Norse Air, which is kind of more of a
Oh, North there. Yeah.
yeah, more of a budget airline. But it was great, wider seats. They reclined further than the regular ones with the leg rest. Like, honestly, I had a great experience. But yeah, it was like
Especially for
it was
$1
less
for
than
both of
$200
us.
for us to get to Athens.
Wow.
That said, we were also flying in 6 days ahead of the group trip happening.
Okay, very wise.
So there,
Yeah.
it wasn't like, oh, if we don't get on this, the group's gonna
Yeah,
be
yeah.
without their hosts.
Yeah.
We don't risk it. Like when we have brand deals, like we worked with Norwegian Cruise Line back in August last year.
We
Mhm.
paid for those flights.
We bought flights for that because it's like we can't risk not getting to
Mhm.
there for a brand deal kind of thing. So
Mhm.
anytime there's something like that that's like high risk or high level thing, like we always buy flights. But
Mhm.
a lot of our travels, I'd say we still do a lot of our travels on our own, like not brand deals, because it's kind of nice not having the pressures of brand deals
Sure.
sometimes.
Yeah.
We'll do brand deals after the fact, like sponsorship, ad integrations kind of thing. But a lot of our trips are still on us, so that allows us to be able to fly standby without the pressures of worrying about getting there or not.
And how was your recent trip to Greece? I know we touched on it briefly at the start, but it looked a great trip. Athens, Nafplio, Peloponnese, a group trip as well. It looked like
Yeah.
also the perfect trip because you loved the group and they seemed to have a great time.
Yeah, Athens. Like I said, we got there 5 or 6 days early for content travel. So we actually ended up taking two 2 days pretty much off where we were just in the city, got to explore the city with, without having to think about a schedule or what story we're telling. But on 2 of the days we filmed pretty much all day. One of them was like a 1 day in Athens video where we put 25,000 steps in that day and did it
filmed
all.
16 hours. Yeah,
filmed for 16 hours from start to finish. So yeah, but did all the things from obviously the Acropolis.
But just the amount of history there is overwhelming. Like,
yeah, it is.
We were there and she would talk about mythology and then also talk about history. And we were just like, oh my gosh, this is a lot. Like, I should have studied more before.
It's the first
trip.
It's not the first place, but one of the most extreme places I've been where I've felt so overwhelmed with the amount
of information.
It's like drinking from a fire hydrant, just trying to like take in just a little bit of what I'm being, learning here. And antiquity there, like the history and mythology almost blend together at times. And it's like, wait a second, which part of this is mythology? Which part of this is actual history?
And then, it was in ruins at one point, and then somebody else came and built upon it, and then that was in ruins, and then somebody else built upon it, and it's like, oh my gosh, this is a lot. But it was really beautiful. Yeah, the group was amazing, which was awesome. We didn't know 6 people?
Yeah, out of the 14, I think 6 were new travelers with us, and the others had traveled with us before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it was just wonderful.
But yeah, so it was great. We like I said, we filmed we filmed a food tour video. Then the group showed up, and we did a week with them.
And this was our first group trip at the end where we were like, oh my gosh, that it flew by.
It flew by, and it was just a really easy trip.
Yeah.
The more we do them, the easier they get. But also the more we do them, the more times you're having to return travelers with you. So like we said, we knew 8 of the 14 people. So and
it was like just friends getting.
Exactly. It was just like friends getting back together and traveling. So there were jokes being cut right from the get go, and so it was just really easy. The group was amazing. Mm-hmm. Everybody got along.
Had no hiccups whatsoever, which was really amazing.
No,
nice.
We got home from this trip and we're like, literally everything went right. Like there wasn't a thing that with travel just in general.
That's quite rare.
Yeah, that's a hard thing to say. And then when you make group travel in it, there's a lot of personalities and dynamics that come into factor, and a lot of logistics. But literally, it was just an incredible time.
Yeah, I think one of the people actually follows me. Actually, she's called Geo. G-E-O.
Beth.
Yes, that's it, Beth. Yeah,
Beth George.
I also follow her as well because she knows you guys, right? So
she's
watching it through her lens as well. Yeah,
amazing. I'm obsessed with her.
Yeah, she's wonderful. She travels with us on pretty much all of our trips.
Oh wow!
And she was just saying that it is a great community. All of the people that travel with us, we've been so blessed and so grateful that every single person is cool, which. You never know. But,
of course,
And with Beth, she was like, this is because she would do group trips before, but every time you do a group trip, you might not know people if you're a solo traveler. And so she was like, thank you guys so much for doing this because I know these people. Like, they went and did 6 days by themselves.
Yeah.
It was a group of 6 of them that did all of the islands after we left.
Oh, and she was on the islands. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. So after that, it's like, okay, this is way bigger than even us. Like, it's the community of people that just loves to travel. And
I think the difference, and we've never done group travel. We've done little group tours and stuff, but we've never done a group trip where we were just travelers on it. But we've talked to multiple of our travelers that have, and I think the dynamic difference is that it's a community rather than just a group of people that are wanting to go travel and see these places. Because most of the time we've heard that, there ends up being cliques and little groups formed that break off. And our whole group is just there to hang out together. Like, and obviously everybody's welcome to go and during the free times, go do what they want and that kind of thing. And some people do. Some people are wanting to go shop. Some people are wanting to go eat, whatever it is. That's fine.
For the majority of time, like we had family dinners every night, even though it was free time and people didn't have to.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It was it's incredible. It was really, really special. Even it's amazing now because you see people on Facebook and everybody's posting, home photos, just regular life. And you see all of the people that went on that group trip are commenting. And it gives me goosebumps. Like it's just such a cool thing to be a part of.
I think for you guys also having those regulars come back, they're almost like a third guide with you, aren't they? In a sense that you probably trust them a little bit. If something does go really wrong here in anything part of travel, they might help you out with certain things, right? Could be dynamics, could be transport issues, whatever it is. And I think it's
for sure.
nice to have, I think, for sure.
I mean, for sure. I mean, like one of the nights even in Greece, like we were just as you know, you're so busy as you are all the time, like just trying to keep up with life and keep your businesses rolling, your YouTube channel, all the things rolling. So up until like a week or two before, we didn't have some of our itinerary stuff even planned, like for us, for like free time stuff. But one of the other ladies who's traveled with us before is a good friend of ours now. She had posted in the group, was like, "Hey, I have reservations for dinner
at this rooftop
at this place with great views of the Acropolis for this time. Anybody that wants to join, let me know and I can adjust the reservation." So it was literally the week before. I was like, "Hey, you think you can add us to that reservation?"
Are you paying us or are we paying you?
Exactly. So yeah, to your point, they're like, yeah, they kind of like almost act as, for sure.
And that was a really cool thing that we learned about them. Our first group trip in Ireland was some people who do group travel, they're just expecting the tour guide to know everything and do everything.
Yeah.
But our people are travelers. Like the reason why they love our videos is because they like to do, see, and eat as much as they possibly can. They research a place. They get excited about the place. Like they have their own food recommendations. And Beth, for instance, she'll come to our Christmas markets. She has a list of food that she wants to try from all these different places. So like they're travelers.
Aside, like to the point that our first group trip welcome meeting, our guide, lovely lady, did an excellent job for the trip, but she stated something.
Matt got a little sassy.
No, I didn't.
Oh.
No. One of our travelers was fact correcting her on something she said because what she said wasn't correct about the destination.
Okay.
So that's the travelers that are with us, like they've done their research before, like they know, like you can't BS them,
And for as we're here, the tour groups, do you try and incorporate, I guess, a mix of go, but also free time, and then also enough time for you guys to take it all in? Because I can imagine the temptation is to do one thing after the other, right? Well, we've got to do this, we've got to do that, but you've got to have an awareness of the dynamic that maybe some people just want to casually check it out for an afternoon, not like tick 3 things off, right?
Yep.
So I think for our Greece group trip, we'll talk about that one, and even our Christmas markets. Christmas markets had a little bit more free time.
A lot of free time.
Ireland was a lot of driving. Right. So we would everybody would kind of check out, sleep, nap in between all of the places that we were driving. What we like to do is during the free time, we're going to have an itinerary kind of set for what we're going to go do.
Oh, okay.
And people are welcome to join, but they don't have to.
Got it.
Our feelings will not be hurt if you don't want to come. If you want to just like hang out and nap in the hotel, that's totally fine. And I think the more that we get repeat people, that's happening more.
Where everybody's coming together for that free time, they're getting together and just hanging out to do whatever we're doing. But I think by doing that, it allows we can do one thing after the other, bam, bam, bam. But people are welcome to join on as little or as much of it as they want. And I think it gives value where they don't have to feel like, oh, there's free time. Let me figure out what I want to do. Matt and Nat already have a plan together. Like, we're just going to go join them.
And what I love to do as well is, like I was saying, like the more people travel with us, the more comfortable they are with us. So like there was one day where a lot of people were like, well, we're going to go do these shops. I said, that's fine. I'll update you where we go. So every time we're moving to a different place, I'll let you guys know, because I don't want it to feel like, oh, well, they just left us and we never heard from them again. It's like, no. I'll let you know every step of the way where we're at, what we're doing. Just message me and I'll tell you where we're at. So we just want people to feel comfortable. It's their vacation. And that's something that we really want.
And we try to remind them like, hey, none of this is required. Like, you can do with it whatever you want with your time.
You guys paid to be here. This is your vacation. This is your PTO time. What do you want to do? Do that. And we'll make those dreams come true, pretty much.
Amazing. And this might be a weird question, but transport, do you always have a driver that drives the group around if you're going from one big location to another?
It depends. We work with a couple of different tour providers as far as like on the boots on the ground companies. And some companies really love to lean into more of the public transportation, like train travel, which I love. Honestly, our people we found love it too, because
it's not something
all of our travelers are Americans, and so that's not something that's easily accessible in the U.S. is train travel.
And it can be also intimidating for people to do if they're doing it by themselves for the first time.
Yeah, so we've done, like in Ireland, we had a driver from Dublin all the way over to Galway, but then from Galway back to Dublin, we got on the train. And for Greece, it was...
Christmas markets was a really great one because we did all 3. We did train, private transfer, and then I think just taxis or something.
Yeah, I think we did some taxis as well. But then we used local transportation, around the cities as well. And then Greece, it was mostly private. with that kind of trip, you kind of have to have a driver going from Athens to Nafplio. But yeah, we had a driver for that.
And what do you include in the tours? Is there like specifics that have to be in? Like, is it like a good food tour? Or is it maybe walking around some old towns? Like, how do you divide up like different activities?
So it really just depends on the location, destinations, and what they're known for. Like the Christmas markets, obviously, we're doing Christmas market tours and different things like that.
But also, like, some of these Christmas market cities are, they have beautiful palaces in them. So we'll, like with Dresden, for instance, there's the palace there that is now an art museum. But so we did that as part of the tour. Vienna, we're doing that this year for Christmas markets. We'll be doing some of the palace stuff.
But Greece, we did a winery because they're known for their wine in that area. So we did a winery tasting and a lunch there. Ireland, we did a pub crawl.
Oh yeah, classic.
We also did, so it just depends on the location. In
Ireland, we went surfing in Ireland, which was a complete.
Is that a thing?
We were supposed to go kayaking, and it was too windy to go kayaking, but apparently it wasn't too windy to go surfing.
Makes sense, I think.
Yeah, so that was a fun thing. Even in Greece, like we had a kayaking, and a lot of people probably pushed them outside of their comfort zone to do that activity. But at the end of the day, it was one of their favorites because, again, it's something that you probably wouldn't have done by yourself.
Yeah, we kayaked in Greece, and we had like an hour at a beach that we literally had it to ourselves. It was just our group, and we kayaked to this beach, and the tour company had fresh fruit for us to snack on while we were there, gave us all snorkeling gear, and yes, it was a good time. But yeah, then in Italy,
obviously, we're doing a cooking class.
Of course.
Pasta making.
Yeah, so you get wine included, doing that. And in Venice, instead of, when you think of Venice, you think of gondolas. Well, you can't fit 20 people on a gondola.
No, you'd be sinking, wouldn't you? Yeah.
Exactly. So instead, we're doing like a sunset catamaran cruise in Venice with everybody, and drinks are included. And so it just really depends on, what the place is known for and that thing.
And what you got coming up this year for group tours? Any spots left for any groups?
So we have 3 group trips coming up for this year and next year.
Yeah, we plan to at least put one more on the calendar for next year, maybe 2, but at least 1. But this year we have Italy in October. We have 2 spots left for it currently. That's October
3rd through the.
What is it? We can't even keep up with it, James. October
I'm so excited
4th.
about it. This itinerary, I can't believe it hasn't sold out yet.
The 4th through the 11th.
The 4th through the 11th, because we're starting in Venice, then heading over to the Italian Riviera, like Cinque Terre, and then we're going to be doing Florence and then Rome. And it's just like, it's the highlights of Italy, and if it's something that, is a bucket list thing for people, I'm just ecstatic. I can't wait.
And then we have the Christmas markets, second week of December.
Yeah, we're doing Munich.
And that one just sold out this past week, actually.
Great work.
So we'll be Munich, Salzburg, and Vienna.
We might tag on some Budapest. I don't know.
Yeah, that'll be add-ons for us if we do it. But we may go to Budapest. I don't know if we have time for it or not. We'll see.
We always have time for another Christmas market, don't we? Yeah.
If you need a recommendation for a food tour in Florence, I do have one if you're looking to do that.
Yes.
Absolutely.
She's been a guest on the podcast, and she does, weirdly, Dublin and Florence because her parents are Italian. She's from Canada. Moved to Dublin, loved Florence. She speaks Italian, right? So she does like food tours in Dublin and Florence.
How cool.
Send it our way because with our Italy trip, we've purposefully put a lot of free time in the schedule. Because with cities, especially with a city like Florence, one of those, there's just a lot to do. And if somebody's not necessarily into art as much, they're not going to want to go to the Uffizi Gallery. Or maybe somebody does want to go climb to the top of the Duomo, but other people maybe not be physically able to do that. So we kind of just were like, you know what, we'll put our itinerary together. So a food tour might be because I would love to do a food tour in Florence. I love the food in Florence. So send it our way for sure.
She's very like local food, not like the big obvious place to go. So I'll send her your way. She's so funny.
Please. Yeah, that would be awesome.
Amazing. Okay. I think people were shouting at me like, get to YouTube. So I'm going to get to YouTube. I'm sorry, guys, but travel was the main thing. YouTube's a beast, isn't it? But you've got 115,000 followers today. I think last time I saw you just crossed 100,000. So that's amazing in, 2 months? You just got that?
Yeah.
I don't know where to start with this. To begin with, how did you start it? Like, why did you start it and how? Like, was it just 50 states? We'll do that. We'll record it. Let's see how that goes. Is that kind of where you started?
So I've always loved documenting stuff. Matt's really always been into photography, and I've always loved taking videos and documenting. I'm literally a digital hoarder. I have so much stuff on my phones, on my old computers, and stuff like that. I think documenting our travels was always a dream and goal of ours. We went when we first got married, that's when we kind of started traveling a little bit more, obviously, internationally. Our first big one was to Canada, to Quebec, and Matt took amazing photos. That's the first time that we bought a camera, and Matt took photos. And that's when people started seeing the photos and going, well, what was your itinerary? Right. And so then we were starting thinking in our mind, like, oh, okay, well, we can teach people how to do how to travel like us, right, to go to these spots. And then 2019, we were really thinking, okay, I think we really need to do and get into YouTube. So we bought a camera.
Well, at the time, we didn't really know what it looked like, to be honest. It was just like, we knew there was this thing out there that we wanted to do that was, what it is. Now we know what it is because we're doing it. But at the time, it was just like, influencer, which I kind of hate that word. But even then, nobody even knew what content creator, like what was that? Like there was this, it was 2018 when we kind of started getting this itch under us to travel more and document it. But what does that even look like? Then 2019, like Natalie said, we kind of bought a camera, or I guess it was 2018 when we bought our first camera.
And then bought another camera for me.
Yeah, then bought a camera for her.
And the clips that I took on this trip, I thought I vlogged it. I did not. Okay. The frame rate was all wrong. It was way too shaky. I think we'd walked, I think like 25,000 steps in Paris. I might have gotten maybe 5 to 10 clips. And I thought I was vlogging. So just like learning and so we've been really trying to learn and like hone stuff in since 2019.
Yeah.
And then obviously 2020 happened. And
yeah, that was kind of the great equalizer, or you probably heard me say it in conversations before, James, when we've talked about this kind of stuff of like, it was that opportunity for people to hop off the hamster wheel of life long enough to be like, look back and be like, okay, in 2020, it was you hopped off that hamster wheel. It was like, do I want my life to continue in the direction it was going? Or if not, this is the time to change. Like this is the hard reset button that life is giving me right now. Do I want to take it?
We were both out of work for a little while, so it allowed us to actually have time to learn new skills. So I took courses on how to edit, like how to even film. Like I didn't know what frame rate or shutter or any of that stuff was. I didn't know how to edit videos.
We took our COVID relief money from the government and went and bought a point and shoot Sony camera.
Facebook Marketplace.
Well spent.
And that was our investment into the YouTube channel. And at the time, it was like $900 I think we paid for it. And it was like, ooh, that was
could have been $1 million at that point.
That was a big investment for us. Like we were really betting on ourselves at that moment.
And we used that camera throughout all 50 states.
Up to probably 50 or 60,000 subscribers. We used that point and shoot camera to get us there. Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What camera is that, out of interest?
That's a Sony RX7 Mark. Yeah. No, sorry, RX100 Mark 7. Little point and shoot. Great little camera.
And I thought it was so heavy at the time. I hated lugging that thing around. And now obviously I have a really bigger one and it's like a whole thing. But it's just funny how you grow. And
yeah, but to answer more of your question, like was it do the 50 states in a year and see where it was? We were kind of crazy, to be honest. I look back on it and I was like, why did we think this was going to work? Like we just went in head first. I blame it on naive optimism because you don't know what you don't know,
Tell me about it.
We just went in with the idea of like, you know what? Let's just give this thing a try. And we've literally treated it like our full-time jobs from day one. There's the idea I always say like I think just with anything in life, I don't think there's the opportunity to find success with just dipping your toe in and testing the waters. You just kind of have to dive in, sink or swim, and that's how you find success or figure out how to find success if you did sink the first time. Then it's like, all right, get out and jump in again.
Yeah, you just learn from your failures. I think being in the music industry definitely has helped us too. We learned a lot of hard lessons that way that we brought into this business, and we're like, okay, these were all the mistakes that we made in the music industry. How can we fix those and put them into this? And obviously when you work on something together rather than just separate, it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, for sure.
Was there a video that maybe kicked it all off properly? Because I know when I speak to Chris and Sarah, they said they'd done like early door van life.
Theirs popped off right when they started, which I don't know if I would have recommended.
I've told them I feel sorry for them, the fact that their first video went viral.
Because you're still figuring it out, being known for that one thing, that's got to be hard,
What's funny is our first video that in our minds popped off, and it for the channel. There's viral for your channel, and then there's viral in the grand scheme of things. And for the channel, I mean, we had 100 subscribers, and we had our first ever. Was it our first video?
Second video.
Seattle
was our first. Well, we had another.
Las Vegas was the first. Yep.
Oh, it was?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So we did a 36 hours in Las Vegas video. Yep. We literally flew in, landed,
and it was
at night.
right when Vegas reopened.
Yeah, it was right when it had reopened for visitors. We landed at 9 a.m., started filming immediately, and flew out the next afternoon. Yep. And we just filmed the whole time we were there. Put it out. Like I said, for our channel, I think it got 20,000 views in the first 2 months or month and a half, something like that. And we had 100 subscribers. So we were like, oh my gosh, this is massive, in our minds,
Yeah.
But we've been a channel that's kind of been the steady growth kind of channel. We only have one video that I would say is really popped off, and it was a cruise video that
was negative.
Yeah, it was like a negative kind of a review video almost of a cruise line.
Which none of our other videos are negative. So it really didn't.
People love negativity, let's be honest.
Yeah.
But it's our biggest viewed video. But just to put it in perspective, our biggest viewed video, I don't even think it has 600,000 views yet. And I don't mean that in it doesn't even have that. You look at many other channels that have the same subscriber count as us, and they're going to have multiple million view videos. So we've kind of just been the channel that's consistently
slow and steady,
just slow and steady kind of growth, really.
Yeah. And for people listening, I'm in Matt and Nat's very early stage. I think I'm at 3.7 thousand subscribers. So I'm in that sort of
excellent.
Range between 500 and 1,000 is good for my channel per video, right? That's where I'm at. It's all
absolutely.
relative, but it's slow and steady. But it's weird how a few things do just sort of go off without you maybe predicting it. I've done I wouldn't say it's a crappy one. I've done a basic one for Paris. I'm like, why is that the most watched? I don't really know. Maybe me drinking coffee is what people want to see. I have no idea.
It's the videos. We have a video that we were like, people are going to love this video. We stayed in the Ice Hotel in Quebec City.
Oh, yeah.
And it was so much fun.
And we, that was not a sponsored video. We came out of pocket, paid for the Ice Hotel room. I think it was $750 or $800 for one night. And
we were like,
it's like, all right, this is going to perform well. It's one of the worst performing videos we've had on our channel.
Yeah, always the way, isn't it? Yeah.
And then we put one out and we were like, people are watching that? That's awesome. But I didn't think that was the one they're going to watch, You just never know.
You really don't.
No. And we still have videos on our desktop of our first, getting, how many views was it? I think 100 views in a week or 1,000 views in a week. And we were just across all of our videos, we were just this is amazing.
Yeah, you got to celebrate those wins because it is all relative, like you said.
Yeah.
It's those wins are worth celebrating.
For sure.
So that goes to the next question. If you're starting now, someone new, maybe 3 things that you've learned that maybe are crucial for someone starting out right now.
I think good audio is a big one. Audio is really important because people will watch bad quality video as long as the audio is still good, but people will definitely click off if the audio is bad.
Yeah, definitely, focus your efforts audio over video if you have to pick, if you're at a place where it's okay, I'm having to start with my phone, get an external mic for your phone set up. You film with your phone and, get audio with an external mic. That's
Clean your lens.
Clean your lens is a big one.
Yeah, it's so
basic
true.
thing.
Yeah.
But on bigger, higher level stuff, I would say finding your voice. And I mean that in the sense of being genuinely you on camera. People see through inauthenticity pretty quickly. So just being authentically you, because you have to realize yes, you're putting out videos, but your videos are just what you're doing. You are actually the product when you're the face of the channel. That's why the hate comments and the negative comments hurt a lot worse when doing this compared to when I was creating music or whatever. People, if they didn't like a song, they didn't like the song. They don't like what we're doing now. They're hating on me personally, usually, or her, that kind of thing. So it's a much more personal attack. So realizing that you are the product and at the end of the day, you're selling yourself. And I don't mean that in any kind of salesy, gimmicky way.
No, it's just you're the brand.
Yeah, you are the brand.
Yeah, and I think we learned that in the music industry. I think another thing is always just going back to what value are you bringing to people? Because when you're first starting out, why would anyone care? Why does anyone care about us? But our value has always been to help people travel, right? We were going to show you how to do, see, and eat as much as you possibly could in this given amount of time, right? We're not just going to like, and of course, we're always in the back of our mind, how can we bring more value? How can we help other people? How can we, and I think just you realizing that, not just doing it to become famous or become rich or like really knowing your why on what it is you're trying to do. Like,
yeah, because, you know, there's the different types of value you can bring. You know, you have your educational, informational,
entertainment.
and entertainment. And while entertainment is a value, it doesn't hold attention as long or bring in as many people as the other ones. It's a lower level value in my opinion. Because let's be real, at first year we ever went to TravelCon 2022, I believe it was. I can't even remember who was speaking at the point, but they said something along the lines of like, yes, entertainment is value, but even your favorite sitcoms get canceled. You know, even the most popular TV shows in the world end. Because they aren't getting the reviews they had. So it's like entertainment's only going to keep people coming back for so long. You have to start providing something a little more beyond that. Now, obviously, you want to provide multiple levels of value. You've got to be entertaining within your education or information, at least in what we're doing in the style of content like ourselves and you're doing, James. But yeah, I would say, like Natalie, to piggybacking on what she said, is really just knowing your why and sticking to that.
I also think, too, something like TravelCon, where we met James, is super important for new creators, especially being surrounded with like-minded people. Like, we moved to Nashville because that's where all the musicians are. You know what I mean? Like, having community in whatever you're doing is really important, especially when you're starting out, because it is weird, it's different, and you learn from the people that you're surrounded by. And having that kind of community where you're like, oh my gosh, you deal with that too? It's just really awesome. Like, you get to make friends and community. I always will go back to community, but community is just so important whatever you're doing. So I think that's something. And as an editor, I would also like to say, be very subjective, you know, because I think I'm funny, right? Who doesn't? But everybody thinks that about themselves. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, I think I'm funny, but then I'll be editing and be like, people won't think that's funny. Or, you know what I mean? Like, you just have to think in your mind. You're like, maybe it's a cute moment between us. Well, I'll cut it and keep it for myself. But maybe other people don't need to see that or they don't care. So having that subjective thing in your mind where, is it entertaining? Is it bringing value? And just really being subjective. Because I watch some vlogs and I'm like, what was the purpose of that? Like, did you think that was funny, or did you think that was cute?
In the editing room, you know, in songwriting world, we would always say having your Northern Star. Like and that's usually the title of the song or the meat of the song. And every lyric needs to point to that Northern Star within the lyric. And in the editing room, it's like, all right, what's the title of your video, or what's the theme of this video? And then editing the video to that same thing. Editing, making sure every clip points to that Northern Star. And Natalie she's been great at it from the beginning about being subjective, about saying, you know, we might have rambled on for 3 to 5 minutes about something. And in the moment we thought it was great, but then you get in the editing room, it's like, this is
shut
boring.
up.
Like,
delete. You know what I mean?
You know,
and it's us.
And I think that's something many YouTubers I watch occasionally, and I'll be like, man, they should have like really moved this thing along. Like, it was a little bit slow moving here. But you have to be subjective. And like I said, Natalie does a really great job at that.
I think it's probably because I have like ADHD or something undiagnosed. And I'm just like, let's move on. Something.
Okay, I'm coming to community in a minute. I've got one more question about tech. Okay. This will be a bit boring for people listening, but I'm hooking them with
this guy right
community
here.
question over here. Basic setup. Now, this might be really basic. You mentioned earlier, Nat, about not shaking the camera, which is actually quite big when you think about it. How many YouTube episodes you watch and they're just shaking it? So what do you use to not shake the camera for a start?
Well, don't watch our early videos, because even now I'm like appalled. I'm like, I put that in there? I think just learning, right? If you go back from our first videos to our ones now, you'll notice a big change, right? We do the ninja walk, but we don't use a gimbal. Like, we're very run and gun. No, we're very run and gun.
Is it a stable tripod?
So we just use the in-camera stabilization. Depending on the shot, if it's a walking shot, we'll make sure the active stabilization's on, because we're on all Sony stuff.
And with Sony, there's Catalyst Browse, so that's like a post-production thing that I can put in, and it smooths it out a little bit more.
Okay. Digital stabilization, it crops it in a touch, but
and that's only if we really need it.
We've toyed with doing the gimbal thing, especially early on, but it's just so cumbersome at times and gets to be...
It draws a lot of attention. Like I said, we're run and gun. We're our whole goal is to do, see, and eat as much as we possibly can. It's not to get the most beautiful cinematic shot. We're just here to give value for people's itineraries. And so that's something that else we have to remind ourselves. Usually if we're there and we say we're there for 48 hours, we're there for 48 hours, maybe 56. But, like that little end.
If our video said 24 hours in this place, we were probably there for 24 hours.
Yeah,
or,
and so we can't, we're running to the next thing and we're usually running late. It's like, so when I have all that gear.
So the more streamlined we can make our process and like, dummy proof we can make it, the better it is.
Yeah.
So like even, I know a lot of people, they all shoot full manual mode or whatever. Wow. We shoot shutter priority just to, because it's like, it just removes all of the mistakes out of, most of the mistakes, I should say, out of the back end of things.
Yeah.
Even as a color grading point, rather than spending more time than necessary, like we don't shoot in log because it's just not worth the effort in our opinion. We shoot in the...
We're not filming Martin Scorsese films here. It's a vlog that goes out. You know what I mean? To help people travel.
What's funny, getting on, I won't go too deep because I know it'll bore the listeners for sure talking about this too long, even though I love talking about this stuff.
Yeah.
But exactly. But with like color grading and that whole thing, we went back and forth. Like, should we film in log? And for listeners that might not know, log is like the flattest profile that allows the most flexibility on the back end for editing colors.
Which means a lot more time on the back end to edit.
But it does take a lot more time because it gives you that flexibility. Or you can shoot like what your camera would, your phone camera would do, which is, a color profile essentially. Once I heard that Casey Neistat didn't shoot in log ever because he said it wasn't worth his time, I said, if it's good enough for Casey Neistat, it's good enough for us. So we're like, we're just shooting the Cinetone or whatever it is.
Fair. I think you just got to do whatever's best, right? I think that's the key point.
Yeah.
For me,
not getting bogged down in it. Yep.
Yeah, and I'm just not very good at holding my Sony camera as I go. I just shake it a bit, and I.
Do you have a strap for it?
No strap.
So that would be a big thing for me is having the 3 points, right? Is that what they call it?
It gives you that third point of contact. So you got both your hands, and then you can put it around your neck and then create tension.
You create your own little thing.
Interesting.
I recommend doing like 3 different takes, 3 different goes.
Yeah.
And then pick the best one.
So I use my new iPhone that I have. That's my on-the-go footage, 4K, and then I just use my Sony camera for me speaking in it. That's my rule. I don't know if that works for anyone else, but I just think, well, in the camera, whilst walking and speaking is okay, because I think you're just trying to, it feels like you're on the go a little bit, but like the still shots of like maybe showing a waterfront, for me it's like the phone, because I'm just like the most stillest when I got my
phone. Well, and the stabilization within
I was going to say phone stabilization,
Yeah, so I guess don't be afraid to use your phone. I think that's what I'm saying there.
No, not at all.
Especially these days, right? They've got 4K and all that sort of stuff, shutter speeds and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, community, you are the experts at this, right? I have never met content creators in real life who have managed to create and sustain a community like you guys. I think it's unbelievable. So to give you listeners some context, they have a Patreon, which is, I don't know how many patrons you have. I know it's a fair whack, a fair few. And obviously you have, I'd imagine, paid memberships on YouTube. So that's a community as well. So why do you think you guys have got such a strong community? Is it because you offer authentic travel tips? You give a bit of you to them so they get to know you a little bit? Is that the key to community and getting people to part their money and join you on the journey?
So I think for us, community has always been super important. It's something that we always wanted to do from the beginning, right? We wanted it to be part of our DNA. We love people. We love talking with people. We love just people in general, right? Just in our everyday lives. And I think we started our Patreon before we even launched our 50 States in a Year, which is crazy.
Before we had 200 subscribers on YouTube, we launched our Patreon.
No way, did you?
Yeah. And I think our first member was my cousin, who is still she's our longest continued member from the start. But I think it comes down to authenticity. I learned in the music, and like Natalie said earlier, mentioned, we learned a lot of hard lessons in the music industry. And one of the things you really learned there was always treating people as relationships and not resources. Never going into building a relationship with the idea of being able to leverage it into anything other than a friendship. that's what the goal of creating a friendship is friendship.
Mm-hmm.
Beyond that, if there's benefit that come from it, cool, but that should never be the root or the focus of why you're building that relationship. So I think, again, just comes down to authenticity, truly wanting to connect with people.
Yeah.
And then truly letting people be seen and heard, letting people feel like they're not just feel like they're being seen and heard, because they are being seen and heard, I think that goes a long way with people.
Yeah, I think in the beginning, when obviously our numbers aren't what they are now, it was giving value again, right?
Okay.
So it was postcards from every single state.
Yeah,
so that was something, right? Yeah. And so, that was something for me to be like, okay, if somebody wants all of the 50 postcards, you had to sign up early. And I think just being able to give value and having something else, in the mail was something that was enticing to people, right?
Yep.
And then I think now the best part about our community is the community. It's not even something that we do. We maybe facilitate it, but just having the amazing group of people in there.
Yeah, the community sells itself now, kind of, which is kind of crazy to think.
Great work. Yeah.
They're so kind, so welcoming. It's just amazing to see and be a part of.
Right before we got on with you for this talk, we had one of our Patreon members and community members messaging us, trying to get another one of the Patreon members signed up to the Facebook page because they couldn't figure out how to do it.
Fair.
We were messaging. She's like, I'm just trying to get all the stragglers rounded up, kind of thing. It's like, and that's the kind of people we have. Like, they're not leaving anybody behind. Like,
no, it's all like everybody's welcome at the table. It's really amazing to see. I love seeing how many people are just messaging back and forth. They're meeting up but without us, right? So if they know that somebody's there in town, they're going to have dinner, and then they'll take a picture and share it on our Facebook group for, our patron members.
They actually started a sub chat on our Facebook Patreon, because we have an exclusive Patreon Facebook group for all of our patrons, because the Patreon page is not a great place for the community to
get together and
interact.
Yeah.
So we have a Facebook page for that, and they've now created a sub chat that was called Matt's Mishaps. And it's just they're sharing
all
from
of
group
Matt's
trips, photos that they took,
and
all my bad photos that I've taken, like that they've taken of me, or things I've done that was dumb. I don't know, but it's hilarious. Like,
and I think like a big thing that we didn't know what we were doing is, we're just listening to people, right? I think talking with your community is so important. So we do monthly live streams with them since we've started this channel in 2020, right? So they know all the behind the scenes stuff. They know what's happening in our lives. Like, we're truly friends. And in 2021, in October, we did a Nashville meetup.
2022.
Oh,
no,
2023. 2023.
Yeah.
I don't know what year it is.
So we don't know
about it.
So anyways, so people drove or flew in, spend their time, their money to come and hang out with us here in Nashville. And it was just, there was no entrance fees or anything like that. Obviously, their patrons were there to meet you. And it was one of the coolest experiences. Like, we got to meet Rich and Abigail through that.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just an amazing weekend. And the community has just gotten even better and more amazing since then.
Yeah, we're doing another Patreon meetup, exclusive meetup, in-person meetup in July this year. And we've already got 25 people, like, committed to come from
and it'll probably grow
all
from
over
there,
the country. So it's kind of wild to think, to be honest. Like,
and they're all just so excited talking to each other, like, you're going, okay, cool. And then they're even excited to have new people. New people are like, hey, I'm a lurker here, but I'm excited to meet you guys.
That's the other great thing is, like, you feel like it could get exclusive real fast. Like,
very cliquey.
It could get really cliquey, but they're just such wonderful people. They always welcome every single person with open arms. And it's just a really rewarding thing to experience.
And we have our own little community from TravelCon last year, which is like on a little Discord, but you guys are meeting up in America, which I can't unfortunately attend, which I'm actually pretty devastated about. But
we're just going to have to FaceTime you.
Yeah.
Maybe join that way. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Just because of citizenship admin, which is a bit of a nightmare. So we met up for the first time a few years ago, and I've met you since this year. But from that first meetup at TravelCon that I was there, 2024, there's like a few of us, right? We're just like exchanging details, had a good laugh, some drinks, some food, and then that grew into a little community, right? And now we've got this like 10, 12, 14 people created community that we kind of have kept going. I know we're all busy with our stuff, and then this year we're all meeting up. Well, apart from me. Yeah.
As obviously with schedules, naturally, it's it'll be a challenge.
Well, especially travel creators too. That's always the hard part is,
of course,
people are usually traveling like Chris and Sarah and
But I love that we're doing it even just to get the ball off the ground to make it part of the community. And then from after the first one, it's like, oh, we've done this. Like now we'll do it again, and it'll only grow from there. And,
I'll be there next year. Don't worry.
Perfect.
Promise.
Maybe we'll just go to Canada.
I also think there's a couple other TravelCon people that were at this past TravelCon that I feel like could be added in our TravelCon group, but I'm gonna have to talk to our our leaders of the TravelCon group, our administrators, to see if that's
we'll have
allowed.
To have a presentation, and we'll have their photo, and we're like, these are the pros,
your delegates,
and we all vote them in.
Like a secret society.
Yeah, okay. I'm liking this.
You should get Aaron in there. Yeah, that'd be a laugh.
Exactly.
I spoke to him a few weeks ago because he came on the podcast for an interview, and I think what he learned from you guys and other people at TravelCon this year was he thought he was an entrepreneur, and he said, I bloody am not compared to these guys. Like, you've got your 7 streams of income, these guys are monetizing this, and he's like, holy cow, I've learned so much. So I think he would benefit definitely from the creator side of it, even though his podcast is full-time. He does it like amazing content. Like, he even benefited from that, so that shows how strong that is. Yeah,
I love that. He'd be a good addition.
Absolutely.
And he's based in Denver as well, so he's in the US.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Colorado.
Yeah,
it's a good group though.
And that's one thing that I love about TravelCon is the community part. I feel like other conventions, right? Conferences, that's the word I was thinking of. They don't have like that emphasis.
Focused,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why,
Well, I mean, the whole motto is, community over competition.
Yeah.
And I feel like they really strive to live that out and try to, exemplify that and make that part of the DNA of the culture of TravelCon. So yeah, it's been a really neat thing, and excited for where it's headed.
Yeah, I think for that, if you're a creator or want to be a creator, it's great, because for me and for you guys as well, we're creators, but it's just good to go and get those side discussions going and like, oh, how's that going? Or what's that been like? You do learn a lot. I think I went for breakfast with you literally on the last morning before I had to go back for like an hour and a half, and I asked a few questions I had to get asked, and I'm like, yeah, that's what I need to ask. So yeah, I think it does get those, it kind of inspires me, I think is what I'm trying to say. I think you can easily go silo with your creator thing and go, do you know what, I'm doing all right. But I think it's important to go and see other creators and just keep on your toes a little bit, ask for advice and be humble about it, I think.
We leave every TravelCon feeling exactly that. It's so inspired.
Yeah.
Like, we come home with like a new fire in our bellies, like to just pursue this thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I probably spent a week at least after getting back, and still to this day, like constantly brainstorming after listening to Finn's presentation on the physical product stuff.
Yeah.
It was like, and that was just one of the the presentations or talks, and then there's all the conversations that happen, off unofficially, that are just so inspiring.
Yeah. And I think for me too, meeting people in real life, it makes me a fan of you as a person. So now I will support anything that you do. If you're a good person, then I'm like rooting for you in your corner. I'm definitely engaging with any of your things that you're posting. Because, when you meet some people or you just see them, you're like, well, I don't really know them. I don't know. But when you meet somebody, you're like, oh, cool. I'm commenting now on all the things, or, just supporting people.
That was the funny thing with Aaron, right? Because have I told you this? I know. I actually added him and sent him a message. Must have been about 2.5, 3 years ago, and he blanked me on Instagram. And I even think he followed me and unfollowed me. That's on. So I said, "Hi, Aaron. I'm James from Ringing It." He's like, "Oh shit." I was like, "Yep." He goes, "That I'm really bad with social media." It's like, well, okay, that's fine.
All right.
Did you call him out at our community dinner that we all did?
No, because before
at that end of the table. Oh, it was before it. Okay.
You know the bit where, at the end when they had some like dances going on in the hallway and drinks. There was then I sort of really got to speak to him, and I was like, he's like, "Yeah, James, I'm so sorry." I was like, "No, it's all right. You just have to come on the podcast." And but no.
That's great.
A bit humble about it, it's fine. But I just think it's good to meet people in person, get that sort of real life connection. And you're so true. I do support everyone I've met through that conference, and the first one I met you guys at. So yeah.
Because when you meet great people, you're like, oh, this is easy. Okay, cool.
Yeah, you make that. Yeah, it's a personal connection. Then, like then you're, like Natalie said, then you're a fan of whatever they do.
Yeah,
I'm saving stuff to watch later. It's just things like that.
Yeah.
And that kind of goes back to like what you were saying earlier, asking about new creators, and that the faster that you can get people to know you as a person, that's why being authentic goes such a long way. Like, then they're a fan of you, and they're gonna support whatever you're doing. You know, that feeds into the whole idea of, you know, we talked about it in different conversations before. Well,
James never went to our speaking.
Oh yeah, he didn't come to our.
He didn't come to our speaking.
I thought I was going to waive it.
Yeah, well, you know.
Anytime that I can give you a hard time about it, I'm going to do it.
So the truth is true.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm going to have to defend. I can't defend myself here. The first time, I think I had a side conversation with another podcaster, a little exclusive group. So we had a little chat, and I think you're doing the talk, and I was gutted to miss that. I was like, right, next time I'm going to watch those guys chat. And unfortunately, TravelCon put on at the same time the podcaster chat. So I hope
they do it again next year, just so I can keep giving you a hard time every single year.
But if you'd been in our talk, James,
you would have known.
You would have heard us mention, you know, the whole idea of the 100 true fans, you know, and realizing that, you know, if you can make that personal connection with 100 people, that's more valuable than a surface level connection with 1,000, 10,000, or even beyond.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed. So you're not going to like my sort of final question about YouTube is how important is the stuff like thumbnail, hook, tags, title, show notes? These seem a bit admin-y and a bit arbitrary, but are they quite important for people getting to see your video and at least get a taste of what's going to be coming on in the video?
For sure, because it's your promise to people, right? It's their first impression of you, your video, and what is it even of, right? Yep. So when we're saying, you know, this is the best things to do in Nashville, we're going to tell you the best things to do in Nashville, because we want you to watch the whole video and we want to give you value. So it's really just giving people what they're expecting, right? When you're buying something, you know, when I order a pink thing, I want it to be pink. So it's the same idea. It's just, you know, packaging it differently.
Your thumbnail, your title, your tags, all of those things, those aren't for your true fans. Those aren't for your, you know, your loyal fans. We could put up just a screen grab without editing it, whatever, and throw up a random title, you know, that's, you know, a day in Nashville or whatever. And our true fans are going to watch it because they already know what to expect from us. But all of those other things are your calling card, your business card for new viewers,
new people.
You know, or people that maybe view you more casually and they aren't going to watch all your content. So yeah, they are very important. I do think that with the live playing that happens, you know, on mobile with YouTube now, when you scroll through, videos automatically play. Or if you highlight on them, even on the TV, they automatically play. I think those have made the thumbnails less important. And they make the first 10 to 30 seconds of your video that much more important, because people are kind of previewing your video at that point. The thumbnail might get them to scroll over to it and actually highlight on it on the TV or whatever. So you do need that. But if your first 10 to 30 seconds don't hook them, they're moving on pretty quick. So yeah, I think all of those things are very important. And I think that first bit of your video is lumped in with those as well. You know, there's debate if the tags are actually doing anything on YouTube anymore these days. You know, some people say they are. So I don't know. I always say it can't hurt to have the tags on videos. But, you know, I do think the thumbnail, title,
and your content, whatever's in your video.
Yeah, the video is obviously the most important. But yeah, to your point, I do think they are important. But again, remembering those are to get new people in. Your diehards are going to watch, you know, whatever you put out pretty much.
And then I think, too, just looking at your analytics from time to time, not being so obsessed with it, but seeing what works, what doesn't, what are some spikes, what aren't, and going from there and learning just from your mistakes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or how you could do things better.
Great. Where can people find you? On Patreon, YouTube, websites, social medias?
So it's Adventures of Matt and Nat. And that's on
Was that
all
a good
of
ad?
them. Oh, you want to do that again? Adventures of Matt
and Nat.
There you go.
And you got to look at the camera. You do that. Okay, ready?
Okay.
One more time.
Adventures of Matt
and Nat.
There we go. Third time's a charm.
Yeah,
James.
I hope you keep all three in.
Yep, of course.
I mean, but that's on all the platforms.
TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Patreon.
YouTube's
Facebook.
Our main platform. Instagram's kind of where we are able to communicate more easily with people. But then we also have our website with travel guides and all that stuff, and Patreon, of course, as well. But yeah, that's it.
Okay, I'll put links in the show notes so it makes it easy for people. And I'm going to finish the episode with my little feature. So it's a quick fire travel question. So no deliberating, no like discussing it. You got to like
Okay.
first thing to mind.
Okay.
But I normally give 3 answers, so you can have one each.
I'm terrible at these, by the way.
That's fine. Okay. Good to know.
No, Matt is so bad. He loves to think everything through.
So 1 each and then 1 together. That's what we're going with, right? Okay.
For each question?
Yep.
No, 1 for each.
For each question, though, you said?
Yeah, each question, 1 answer each, 1 combined, if you can.
Okay.
Because normally you just have one person saying 3 things.
Yep.
Okay, so let's do your top 3 favourite countries that you've been to. Yeah, you're not going to like them.
Okay.
All right, you're going to go first? Are you going
Nat's
first?
face is an absolute
You
picture.
can go.
Okay. If you ask me tomorrow, this could change, but I'm
That's
just going
fine.
to quick fire it because this is this very moment. This is what I'm feeling. All right, I'm going to go with my home country of the U.S.
No,
That's what I was going to do.
Not allowed. Not allowed.
Oh, not allowed.
Spoiler alert,
not
You
allowed.
didn't say that.
No home countries in these questions are allowed.
Okay. Well, it would have been U.S., so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we got the ground rules out of the way, James.
You know he's a stickler for the rules, right?
I know now, yes.
All right, I'll just go off the cuff then here. I'm going to go Japan.
That was a
It's fine. You can have the same things. I'm going to go Japan. I'm going to go Portugal, and I'm going to go Vietnam.
interesting. I was going to go with the U.S., but that's not allowed.
Yep.
Japan was on mine. I love Germany. I really do.
Yeah.
Germany, my home people.
Does that allow, James? She did live there.
That's a tough one, that.
Okay, I'll take it out. I'll take it out.
Come on.
This is hard. I know. I don't want to just copy you. Where have I been? Ireland, and
Let's pick something.
I don't know.
3rd place.
Greece?
I don't want to say Portugal. Yeah, Greece is pretty amazing. I'll go with Greece.
There you go.
That's so hard. Sorry,
Yeah,
it
I
just
thought
took
I
like
was
10
bad at
minutes.
it.
That's a great start. Okay. Now,
Is it get easier?
well, sort of.
Okay.
3 countries you've not travelled to that's next on your hit list.
I got mine.
All right, go for it.
South Africa, Egypt, and Switzerland.
Okay.
I probably went as a kid, but that doesn't count.
But she doesn't know she went as a kid. So.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'd have to call my mom.
So New Zealand, and then I had the other 2 the same. I don't know if that matters.
No,
but
it's cool.
Okay, South Africa and Switzerland because we had talked about those next year.
Oh, also Croatia. Anyways, it's fine.
Okay. This is actually only 1 answer each.
Okay.
If you could live somewhere tomorrow for a year, that's not your home country or Germany, where are you going to live?
Can I guess Matt? No,
No,
maybe not.
do yours.
Oh, dang. Okay. A year.
Yeah, tomorrow.
I think I would do, is it just a country, country, or just wherever?
Country, yeah. Broadly.
Okay. I would probably say Japan just because it's so culturally different.
I would do France.
Great choice. Okay. Top 3 favourite cuisines or foods.
Italian. Yes. Greek and Japanese.
Okay. I'm gonna probably try to go more specific with things that really stand out from my travels, like more specific dishes.
Zoom in on that one.
Just because that's easier for me, like than like a general kind of, cuisine.
Okay. Fine.
Okay, fine. All right, so I'm gonna go with, you got to have Japanese food in there, so I'm gonna go with sushi in Japan. It's just next level.
Like katsu, though, but okay.
The katsu is great as well.
Yeah, it's my favourite.
I'm going to go with Portugal was one I really enjoyed, the food there. We were only in Lisbon, but I'm going to say Portuguese, like pastel de nata, the fish and stuff as well. And then final, I'm going to go with pizza and pasta in Italy. I mean, I don't know if it gets more iconic than that.
Good.
Nah, too good. What about top 3 favourite cities?
So hard.
Cities, I'm going to go.
Oh.
Okay.
Florence is one of mine. Athens is pretty cool. I have to do my 3rd one right now. You do another one.
Cities, I would go with Hanoi, Vietnam.
Great choice.
Oh, I might go with Tokyo.
Okay, you got Tokyo?
Mm-hmm.
Have a great choice.
Yeah, Hanoi, Vietnam. Florence, Italy is definitely on there for me. But then I want to go back and spend more time here because we didn't have a ton of time there, but Edinburgh, Scotland.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Just a beautiful, beautiful place.
Okay. Both of you, 1 answer question here. Are you sunrise or sunset?
Sunset.
No one says sunrise in that question. I'm trying to get someone to say sunrise.
They're really beautiful when I wake up, but if I had to
when
choose...
I'm up for them, they are great.
My theory is travellers are up early, they're at it, but no, they seem to be doing sunsets.
Okay, this is an inside scoop. So we were in Ghent, and we had to take an Instagram photo, right? We'd only gotten maybe 3 hours of sleep the night before, maybe 2. And we had to get up. We had to take an Instagram photo on our last day before we flew out, right? And so we had to get up for sunrise. It was stunning. Absolutely. And in those moments, I go, why do I not wake up for more sunrises? But I never do.
Yeah, we never regret getting up for sunrises because once you're up for them, it's spectacular. We don't make it up for them as often as we probably should.
Okay. Actually, you're musicians, so you would tend to wake up later, so that's fine.
Get a pass.
What about a favorite landmark each? Can be nature or man-made.
Mine's super like basic touristy, but I think it's because it was my first landmark I probably saw. Yeah, first landmark I saw abroad, and it was the Eiffel Tower.
Oh, yeah.
I came out of the metro and looked up, and there it was. And it was just like this whole moment. So,
that was a pinch me moment.
So super basic. That's me, though.
I don't think that. I would say Glacier National Park is probably one of my favorites for just like landmarks. Maybe Logan Pass.
Yeah, Logan Pass is
beautiful. So beautiful.
Okay. What about, this might not be 3 places, but maybe a place you haven't liked or wouldn't go back to?
You have a place off the top of your head?
I mean, it's the only one that I ever say.
Oh.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's not really great, though. It's Indiana or Indianapolis, but
okay.
I would give it another go.
Yeah. I think for us, we're really, as you know, as James, we're really positive people. So we almost can always we're almost always going to find something to enjoy about anywhere.
I know a place.
What?
Berlin was one that we just did not have a great time there. We had our stuff
we didn't
stolen.
talk about your story, did we? Yeah.
Yeah.
Berlin
Berlin's
did us
one
dirty.
that was
So.
I mean, it's not the prettiest city anyway. It's kind of,
earthy.
Grungy, yeah.
Yeah. So there's certain places that I think more than like you said, not hated, but maybe didn't live up to what we would have wanted them to. And that for sure, Berlin was one of those, I would say. Given it's a little bit skewed because of our experience there with having, $12,000, $13,000 worth of gear stolen the first night. But
and we looked at each other, we were like, we're okay if we never come back here. It's fine.
Yeah.
But I think that because of that.
Just to say on that, the footage is unbelievable, isn't it? I don't want to go over it because it's a bit of a traumatic thing, but people listen probably think what happened. Well, you checked into a hotel, right? And you literally put your stuff down for 1 second and they scooped in, took it and took the whole bag and went, right? And you said, I think, Matt, you said to me at TravelCon that you're the type of guy that was always, just watch the stuff and
always.
It was literally a second's moment.
Happened so fast and didn't
you
realize
thought we were safe. We thought we were safe-ish in the hotel lobby.
Yeah. Yeah, in the hotel lobbies. Yeah, so just a reminder, always keep your eye on your things or your hands on your things.
Which goes into the next question, actually. Top 3 things you always have when you travel or take with you, should I say?
Always take my turtle travel pillow. I don't sleep without it, on planes at least, or trains or automobiles. Another one would be obviously our gear, but that doesn't really count.
Yeah.
A sleep mask for me.
Oh, yeah.
And probably noise-canceling headphones or AirPods or something like that. Those are the...
Yeah, I was about to say, for me, it would be my AirPods. If I had the luxury to travel with over-ear headphones, if I had space in my bags, I would probably do that.
Same.
But next best thing is noise-canceling AirPod Pros.
Or these wired ones are really nice, too.
Yeah. That, we usually... If it's a long-haul flight, it's different. But yeah, I'm going to say a blanket. We always have like some kind of blanket because it can double as like a picnic blanket. It can double as, something like that you can travel with that can be multi-purpose. And then the third for me would be, trying to think. Most of my entire backpack is all gear. So I'm trying to think of something that's not like professional gear, purposed
Earplugs are important though, too.
Earplugs because hotels can get really noisy.
They can. Yeah.
Well, I feel like more so abroad than in the U.S. For the most part. So, yeah, having a good set of earplugs is for sure a must for not getting hit
sleep
with jet lag on those early days of travel.
Okay. And penultimate question is going to be a creator-based one. What about 3 creators that you would give a shout-out to check out? Could be YouTubers, could be bloggers, could be podcasters, whatever you want.
Oh, my gosh, just 3?
Isn't that hard, James? That's a hard one.
It's a hard one, but no favorites here, just 3 that might help people that in certain aspects of creativity for the travel space.
Yep. So I'm going to jump in then. I'll say...
Do you get 3? I get 3?
Yeah.
Oh,
so you can divide it up.
Okay.
I'll go off right out of the gate with our friend Josh with Through My Lens.
Okay.
He's got Through My Lens and California Through My Lens are his 2 channels, both really successful. But his content's really informational heavy and really great for people wanting to learn about a place.
And he's a great person, which makes it even better.
Makes a difference.
I
You want to do one? You want to go back and forth? Yeah.
Yeah, I can. There's too many. I feel on the spot with this one.
Oh,
Who else do we? Some people don't need shout outs. You know what I mean? They're so big. Do I do that? You know what I mean? Like, that's,
true,
you know,
good
it's
point.
like I could be
She's
calling.
really evaluating it all now. Yeah.
I don't know. This is a lot of pressure. What if I don't say somebody that I should have said?
I know. Well, I'll say another one then.
Okay.
It's some of our friends that you've actually had on here before, James, is our friends Chris and Ellen,
Oh, yeah.
which
oh yeah.
they are super inspiring right now. They're killing it with their Appair travel gear company.
Yeah, shout out to that.
Yeah, shout out to that. Like, they don't realize the bombardment of questions and brain picking I'm going to be doing when we're with them.
That
in a few
blanket was
weeks,
awesome.
because their product is great,
Uh-huh.
and I've been like, it's like just like I said earlier, after TravelCon came back inspired. So, but yeah, they've been really inspiring in that sense, and it's different from, obviously they still do the YouTube and creator stuff, but they've gone the physical product route, which I think is going to be really, really beneficial for them.
I think Allie Smalls is one that I really enjoyed meeting at TravelCon. And she does different content, like very informational. And as an airline employee, I really appreciate it because she's educating the people on what to bring, how to pack in a carry-on, all of those things that we really don't talk about too much.
Yeah.
And just a great person.
Mm-hmm.
Her and her husband. Yeah.
Yeah, they were really great. So you've got one.
Rats. I could just name off a bunch.
Whatever
but
you
I'd be
want,
breaking the rules.
I'm going to go with my final one. And it was, again, we could sit here and name off dozens upon dozens, but some more recent friends, which is Tourist to Local, which I believe you met at TravelCon as well, James, but just really great people, kind, genuine. We talk back and forth with them very regularly to this day. They're just really kind people. And they hit 100,000 right after TravelCon on YouTube.
Great.
So
Amazing. Yeah.
So yeah, really happy to see them succeeding.
I'm looking on to get their like actual, because she's more on Instagram. Amanda Monique Brown.
Oh yeah.
Her and her husband were so
Love
fun.
them so much.
It's a completely different thing from YouTube, but one of the most genuine people, literally obsessed with her and her husband. They're so fun, so sweet.
Yeah, big shout out actually from me for them. Yeah, because I met them at TravelCon. They're such funny people.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And there's that weird photo of me in action talking to Austin, right? The partner.
yeah.
And I was like doing like a dinosaur bear thing. I have no idea what I was talking about. Absolutely no idea. And I said to Amanda's like, this seems quite funny. I have no idea what I'm saying. Like, Austin's sort of laughing. Just thought I'd share it with you. And it just made me laugh. Yeah, we still keep in contact, me and Amanda. She just done a bit of content on Galapagos. I was like, oh my God, it looks amazing.
Yeah.
So
doesn't it? And she's just the sweetest person.
Yeah.
It's, again, that's the best part about TravelCon. So I'm going to shout out Walter's World and Yellow Productions because we've been fans of theirs for a really long time. But when you meet them in real life and you realize they're even cooler and even better than you imagined, because, you know, people say don't meet your heroes, but it's like when you meet people like that you've literally been watching for years and years, it's like, okay, thank you for living up to the hype. Like, we really appreciate it. So those are just two other ones that they're just as kind and nice. So I'll always continue to watch their stuff.
Yeah, What Was World is on the podcast, so you can take a listen if you're listening. Yeah, by the time this goes out, he would have been released. Yeah, people can listen back to the episode. That's pretty cool.
He's awesome.
Very funny episode. That one, he had some funny stories.
Oh, he is so cool.
I can only imagine. He's a great one.
Okay, last question. I know we've been ranting on for a while. If someone's listening right now and they're not sure about traveling, especially to somewhere outside their comfort zone, what one or two sentences each could you give to really inspire them to maybe take that gamble, take the leap, and go and do that experience that maybe they're a little bit scared of?
I would say possibly, like, this is like real world info, is possibly looking into doing a group trip.
Yeah.
Especially if this is something outside of your comfort zone that you don't really feel like you can do by yourself. We were not huge fans of group travel beforehand because we'd never done it before. But we realized that obviously there's comfort in doing things as a group. And I don't know, especially if you're a solo female, we have some that travel with us and they were like, we would have never done this location. We would have never done this experience without doing it in a group setting. So I definitely recommend trying that out if that's something that you are interested in.
Yeah. On a more broad, maybe cliche kind of sounding thing, I would say, you know, what pushed us to do a lot of things that are out of our comfort zone, and me personally anyway, even my move to Nashville was kind of based on this whole idea of never go to the grave wondering what if. You know, don't take a what if to the grave with you. Like, know the answer behind it. If it was, man, what if I had what if I had taken that month that I had between jobs to actually go travel? What would my life look like? And so like rather than taking that to the grave, like just go out and do it. Like you're never going to regret travel. Yeah, there might be some headaches and bumps and things along the way that might be headaches. The overarching idea is like you're never going to regret it because it's going to just broaden your mind, and your heart's going to open up, and it's just such an
it's going to
powerful
change you,
thing.
yeah, from the inside out for sure.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thanks, guys, coming on. I'm going to clip that. I think that's quite nice. I think I need to do on my episodes. I ask the same question. Right? I need to clip everyone's answer. That'd be a pretty cool episode, right? Here's an hour and a half of the last 20, 30 seconds of each episode where they answer that question. If you need inspiration to travel, I think that'd be a pretty cool episode. But yeah, thanks for coming on.
Dude, that's awesome.
That'd be great to clip that up and get that out there. But also, thanks for all the content you shared, all the tips and tricks, the funny stories. It's been a great episode. I loved it.
Same with you, James. Keep on killing it.
Yeah, thanks for having us. I feel like we probably could have talked another hour and
100%.
And bored your listeners even more, but we would have had a good time.
Yeah, we love James so much.
I think there's lots of content we could have gone down the rabbit hole with. But hey, maybe you just have to come back on. Why not?
Oh, yeah.
And you're just going to have to come to Nashville, and we'll do a podcast here.
Indeed. And I'll have to watch you talk one day as well.
I mean, not really. It's not that. We're not that good.
I watch your videos, so. No, thanks, guys.
You come to Nashville, we can do an in-person podcast.
While you're eating hot chicken.
Oh, wow. Okay. That'd be an interesting experience.
We'll ask you questions, and the chicken will just get hotter and hotter. So you'll be like sweating while you're answering. The hot ones, but with hot chicken.
Okay. I'm up for that. Let's do that. So next time you see us together is that.
Love it.
Love it.
Sounds good.
Awesome. See you there.
There we go.